Gordon Hadley Field is the scene tonight as the Cascade Cadets are IHSAA Football. Sean Walker here, joined by Greg Mash tonight, set to bring you the game, as we just mentioned, presented by Endeavor Communications. Very excited to be here, Greg, here to cover this game. Obviously, a couple of teams that are coming off some tough losses last week.
Yeah, you look at Cascade. They lose to Crawfordsville in a very tight ball game, 10-8, and then you look at Monrovia, who go into Indianapolis Ritter's backyard and fight the defending state champions to an overtime battle, going for two and then ultimately losing in that. But they played them tough, and I mean, what kind of confidence does that build when you take on the number one team in the state? You smack them in the mouth and you go toe to toe. You just come out with the loss. But at the end of the day, I think you can find a way that came out like a win.
You know, a lot of people can play Monday morning quarterback and you can question the idea of going for two, but I agree. You're on the road. You're against the defending state champion. You take a shot at it, and you win some, you lose some. But a gutsy call, tough loss.
Yeah, you look at the score, 41-40. I mean, this was an offensive showcase, so why not? Why not take that chance? And, it's just one of those things that didn't work out for Monrovia. But this is a team right now poised to make a run deep into the tournament. So I look for them to come out tonight with guns blazing, the ground game running, and we're going to see some fireworks, I believe.
Let's take a look at the conference standings and how things shake out, and we'll look at Cascade first. They're in the West Central Conference, and you see there is no conference games played yet to date for anybody there in the conference, but only one team getting the win, and that was Cloverdale, starting out their season 1-0. On the other side, for the home team from Monrovia, they play in the Indiana Crossroads Conference. You see a lot of teams in there with some conference games last week. Indy Lutheran, Ritter, and Triton Central, obviously, getting some victories there in the conference, and the rest of the teams playing some catch-up. We talked about Monrovia. They had the one loss right now, and a tough loss it was, but it's obviously a chance to get off the schneid here and get a victory tonight.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. You take a look at that conference standings as well. This conference is loaded from top to bottom. I mean, there are several ranked teams. You look at Ritter, you look at Cecina, you look at Triton Central, Monrovia. All these teams are ranked. Speedway. I mean, Class 2A is loaded with talent from this Indiana Crossroads Conference.
Very good point. Let's take a look at the schedules for both teams. Let's go to Cascade first, and you see we talked about the loss last week, 10-8 to Crawfordsville, obviously at Monrovia this week, and how things shape up there with a lot of teams in the conference. As you know, they've got a Clinton Central. There's a familiar team for
sure, absolutely,
something that we see up in our area. You got Speedway at Greencastle, South Putnam.
Yeah, one of the things you notice there, look at all those road games. I mean, this is a team that's only going to play at home 4 times, and in that stretch of 7 weeks, you got 5 road games. That is not an easy thing to do, regardless of class, division, how good you are, how maybe struggling you are. It doesn't matter. It is hard to go on the road that many times.
What about for the Monrovia Bulldogs? Let's look at their schedule and how things shake out for them. And you alluded to it, Greg, and we kind of pointed this out in some of our notes, but they play tough team after tough team throughout this entire thing. And obviously started last week with Ritter, the defending state champion, but a lot of very good teams on their schedule.
Yeah, no doubt. When you play a tough conference, and this is something we see as well from up and around the Lafayette area, where you had the Hoosier Crossroads Conference that we saw week in and week out, and it's just a loaded conference. And what that does is prepare you for ultimately you get to tournament time, and you've already faced some of the state's best, and now you're just ready to roll right into the tournament.
And that's exactly how teams that are like 5 and 6 get in there and end up in sectional championship games, going to regional games, things of that
absolutely.
nature.
Yes.
We're going to step aside real quick. We'll be back with more. We got the keys to victory and our impact players right here on Endeavor Communications.
Endeavor Communications has been your hometown telephone provider for over 60 years. By providing crystal clear voice service, super fast internet, exciting television entertainment, security systems to help keep your family safe, and IT services for home and business, Endeavor continues to be the leader of technology in our communities. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details about all Endeavor services.
Are you a fan of exciting action, great sporting atmosphere, and good displays of sportsmanship?
I am definitely a fan.
High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure entertainment value. Are you a fan of amazing spirit, incredible drama, and affordable ticket prices?
I'm definitely a fan.
High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure entertainment value.
Welcome back here to our pregame show at Monrovia High School, Gordon Hadley Field. Here on Endeavor Communications, where the Cascade Cadets have come to take on the Monrovia Bulldogs. We keep things moving along in our pregame show. Let's talk about the keys to victory, Greg. A lot of times, obviously, teams got to do things to win, especially on the football field. It's a game of inches.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now it's week 2. Week 2, it's all about simplicity and just establishing yourselves, running your offense, running your defense, just doing the basic things. You take a look at our keys tonight. Limit the turnovers. This is a no-brainer for any sport, any time of year. You don't want to turn the ball over. If you're turning the ball over, you're going to have problems in the night. And what that does is just allows yourself an opportunity to win. Limit the big play, absolutely. You take a look at these teams. We're finding they've got a lot of potential here to bust those plays, especially when they run the ball like Monrovia. They run the ball as much as they do. Cascade, they're just really trying to establish themselves as well. But you do have to limit the big play on defense to enable yourself a chance to win. And you talk about penalties. Those are one of those things you have to stop penalties. We have a fired up crowd here at Monrovia. Penalties will always kill you. You want to limit those as best you can. Sometimes, especially on week 2, you're talking about, those are easy things to do because you've not had a lot of time together as a team. You're still working through some of those kinks through summer ball on into week 1, week 2. So just limit the penalties. You do that, you're going to have a great chance to win.
And that's great. Again, our keys to victory brought to us by Endeavor eShield Security Solutions. Let's talk about impact players, Greg, and who's got to have a huge impact here tonight for both of these teams. Let's start with Cascade.
Cascade, I'm going to go with Sawyer Donovan, quarterback. Young man threw 39 times last week. Completed 18, 168 yards. He had 1 touchdown, 2 picks. But you're talking about playing against this Monrovia team that is going to be running the football a lot. So that's about ball control. You bring Sawyer in, if he can just do his thing at the quarterback position, that's going to be one person that I'm looking at to see how he does in order to lead his team to victory.
What about on the other side for Monrovia?
I'm going to go with one of those running backs. We're going to do Jaden Ray. Jaden had a great game last week. Ran 21 times, 157 yards, did have a touchdown. I could really go with one. They're really a three-headed monster, but with Garrison Lee, Jaden Ray, and Ellis, But Ray is going to be that guy that we're looking at tonight to really establish himself on the offensive front. That's going to be my impact players tonight.
I like it a lot. I would be excited to see what goes on. You see the players getting ready to go out for the coin toss now. We'll step aside. We'll take one more break. That's going to do it for our pregame show. We'll be back with the kickoff and more football right here on Endeavor Communications.
I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 1. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 2. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 3. Wow. I'm the greatest pitcher in the world! Yes!
Optimism. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back. We're getting ready for kickoff here at Monrovia High School. Tonight's officials: Craig Polakin, William Campbell, Melvin Campbell, Eric Gibson, and Raphael Coffey. We'll round out the guys in stripes. They hopefully won't throw a lot of yellow on the field tonight. But we'll see. It'll be dictated by the teams. As there's a good look inside the huddle of the Monrovia Bulldogs.
Yeah, very excited to be here tonight for Endeavor Communications. They got a lot of fanfare. This is Endeavor was here, pregame show themselves. They had a tailgating party, giving hot dogs, giving drinks, popsicles out, really showing themselves as a pillar in the community today.
You got to love that when companies within the community really come out and entrench themselves in the community. I know they brought us a whole bag of hot dogs up here, and I can't wait for a good solid break where I can dig into some of those.
You talk about knowing the key to our heart, right? You bring us up some hot dogs, you got us for life.
I'll tell you, exactly. That's how I ended up married. My wife can cook.
So Cascade's going to get the ball.
Cascade's going to get the ball first, so let's take a look at their offensive players real quick before the kickoff happens. You got Sawyer Donovan at quarterback. You got Butler in the backfield. You got Stevenson, Edwards, and Gates, wide receivers. Parsons, your tight end. And there you take a look at your linemen. Anchored by the center and Gavin Blackburn.
Back for the Cadets, number 22, Isaac.
Let's take a look at the other side if we can quickly. The defense for Monrovia. There's your defensive ends in Miller and Knight. You got McCubbins and Teague. In the trenches, your linebacking core, Welty, Lee, and Hale. Then your cornerbacks, safety, Smith, Ellis, Jaden Ray, Luke Klumper. And here we go, week 2 action. Friday night football here. Opening kickoff. Again, brought to you by Endeavor Communications. This kick kind of a squib. Going to head towards the out-of-bounds line, and it will, so that'll get our first flag of the game. We talked about penalties, and we get one right away.
Yes, that's never something you want to start the opening kickoff. The opening kickoff goes out of bounds. That's not something you draw up. You want to, establish yourselves. But, at the high school level, you bring it out to the 35, and that's just where we start.
So Cascade will take over here, first down, their first drive of the game. As you just alluded to, they're going to have pretty good starting position here with the ball on the 35-yard line. We just had the radio guys beside us say 85 degrees at kickoff, and it was a cool summer, but it started to get warmer. I mean, when it's still 7 o'clock at night and it's still 85 degrees, it is hot and humid
here
in Indiana. Shotgun formation, they turn around, they pitch out. We try to get around the end. Got a great run here on first down. Going to pick up about 8 yards there for Zach Butler.
Yeah, Zach Butler did a great job just getting to the outside, and that's what you want out of your running backs. You want to let them be able to turn that quarter because they're going to be able to turn on the speed and get there a positive yardage there on first down.
You got to love those guys that can get big plays on first down, too, to get those short yardage situations in second and third down. Allows you to keep moving the football. So we'll go back to the shotgun again for Sawyer Donovan. Only got one guy in the backfield. That's Butler. One guy comes in motion. Defense will shift over. It's another pitch. They go to the left side this time. Butler going to be stuffed in the backfield, and that is a huge defensive play there by number 1 for Monrovia, and that's Brady Hale. So you had a great run there. And then on first down, Butler will lose 5 yards on second. So now 3rd and long, and this is where the defense likes to really peel their ears back and try to come get after the quarterback or bring 8 in the box here. But you do have to watch. I mean, you've got a quarterback who threw the ball quite a bit last week in Donovan. Motion again. They're going to hand off to Butler on 3rd down. Breaks one tackle, but he gets brought down about the 40-yard line. It's only going to be a gain of 2.
Jeremiah Welty did a great job of filling the gap and just closing in on that running back. Great job on defense by Welty.
So it's going to bring up 4th and 5 here, Greg. And deep in their own territory, you got to think that they're going to punt here. They would almost have to.
Back for the Cadets is number 7, Chase Edwards.
So number 7, Chase Edwards, is your punter for the Cascade Cadets. Deep to receive. Tough to see that jersey there. Looks like 30 even. That's going to be Trevor Ellis. Wide snap. They're barely going to get it off. Looked like it was almost tipped at the line. This is he does pick it up. What a heads-up play that time.
He's still on his feet.
He'll be brought down about the 46-yard line, so how about that?
Trevor Ellis doing exactly what you're told not to do, and that is when the ball is surrounded by the defense, is get near it, but he picks it up, and he's able to weave his way down for about another 15 yards.
When it happens, you do it right, you go, good job. When you fumble that or something happens, you turn the ball over and you come back and you go, what were you thinking?
That's just part of it.
Hey, when you're a playmaker on the team, that's what you do. You go out and you gamble, you try to make plays. So Monrovia's first attempt now. It's going to be an inside handoff. Going to lean forward, number 35 that time with the run.
He picks up 2.5.
The ball going to be out to a 49 here on the carry. Looks like a gain of 2.
Second down and 8 for the Bulldogs.
He's been doing this for this is his 3rd season, started as a freshman. Williams underneath center. Full backfield, gives it off to the up man.
This is
ball's on the ground.
This time.
It's still on the ground.
And the Cadets come up with the first turnover here.
Logan Brickert. That's who that was. Logan got the ball. This is something you do not want to do as Monrovia. You had the quick penalty to begin the game. You've got a quick fumble.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got a change of possession, and we are in for a bar. It's going to be an interesting game tonight, I have a feeling.
Absolutely. The nice thing about the turnovers is it's at midfield, so at least the defense has got a chance. They're not pinned in their own territory here. They may try to come up.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell if that was a bad handoff or if it happened when he snapped down on it, but it happened at that moment.
Looked like they were too far away on the exchange, to be honest with you, Greg, from my vantage point. Donovan back to pass. Going to roll out this time, being chased by a defensive lineman. He's going to tuck and run, and he's going to gain about 3 yards on the play, so a nice job that time from Sawyer Donovan.
Yeah, sometimes as a quarterback, you just got to realize that there is nothing there, and you got to do what's right, and that is to get the yards that you can and just run out of bounds, and just you live to see another day, so to speak.
Driston McCubbins was just on him, had him pegged that time, and Donovan able to get to the corner and get away from him. So 2nd down and 7 now for the Bulldogs. Very nice facility here, Greg, too. The first time that we've got to come to Monrovia High School and call a game. Gordon Hadley Field. This time under center. Going to drop back quick pass. Had a wide receiver this time, dropped by number 29, A.J. Parsons.
Parsons had that. It was right there for him to take it. And you're playing a team like Monrovia, who is a ranked team, and you're trying to establish yourself as something with Cascade. You got to make those plays. I mean, these are the types of things, especially here in the first quarter, really it will help establish you throughout the remainder of the game.
Going to get the play in from the head coach, Jason Thompson, offensive coordinator, John Tharp for Cascade. We'll see what they dial up on 3rd and 7 this time.
Both drives so far, we've seen a 3rd and long.
Donovan looks to throw downfield. He goes over the top and overthrows him by about 10 yards. It looked like that time him and the wide receiver and the defender got caught up there and unable to break free or outrun the defender. So going to bring up 4th and 7 again. So Monrovia's defense looking pretty stellar here on the first 2 drives from Cascade.
Yeah, I like the play call. I like, just let's try to get something big happen. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of contact down there, and it threw off the route. So we have another punting situation for Cascade.
See Longside this time a lot better. Nice low kick this time, takes a big bounce.
Wow.
Ellis grabs it, tries to do a one-hand.
We have ourselves an athlete out there. I mean, that was a very nice catch there, tried to tiptoe on the line, and he was about to come back in. But very interesting. It's going to be fun to watch him tonight.
So this drive for the Monrovia Bulldogs is going to start at about the 13-yard line. So a good punt that time for the Cascade Cadets. Now last week, Greg, according to the stats, Monrovia able to move the ball on the ground quite a bit. I mean, they had 3 guys over 100 yards on the stat sheet and really controlled the ground game. They fumble again here, and he's down in the backfield.
This is very surprising from Monrovia. This is something that they do consistently. I mean, they're not a passing team, so they're constantly when they're at practice, it is run, 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 run. We saw it in week 1. It was run, 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 run. So it's very surprising to see that they're having so much trouble controlling the football.
Greg, you were a running back in the day. Do you attribute that to just maybe a lack of concentration? Is that what it is right now, just not focused?
It's hard to say. I mean, these are young kids. It's from my experience a long time ago.
It was always the quarterback's fault?
It was always the quarterback's fault, absolutely. Oh, wow.
First pass attempt this time, incomplete.
I think that hit 3 hands on that one, Sean.
Yeah, it could have been a great catch, could have been an even better interception. Instead, it drops, and it's an incomplete pass from John Williams. I'll tell you what, though, if he comes out with that, there is nobody, as they got 9 players all in the box, all sucked in there waiting for the run. He catches that, he's gone.
Yeah, it was interesting. We talk about Monrovia running, and then they come out with a pass.
They're going to hand off inside this time.
He's got on the outside now, Sean.
Nice spin move that time, and Ellis is going to have the spin move there. Hey, he is fun to watch.
When you can do 3rd and 15 and hand the ball off and get a first down, things are going your way. There is no doubt about it. So that's got to build some confidence for Monrovia. Had a little bit of struggles there. We've had two fumbled situations. But when you do things like that, that has a way of just re-energizing yourself.
I'll tell you that he looks like he's primed and ready to play tonight. Somebody must have told him TV was here. He's ready to dial up the highlight reel. They're going to hand off again. This one to Ray. He's coming around the right side. Got a guy out front. Big block.
52
Cuts back. He may be. He could be. He is gone, and a guy cramped up on the other end. Jaden Ray. What a run that time. 74 yards, Greg.
70-40 touchdown for Jaden Ray. I'm telling you, impact player. Jaden, he came out. He had 52, Jeremiah Welty was leading the charge, and he put a block on that Cascade defender, opens it wide open, and then from there you just let your running backs do what they do.
You know, the bad thing is it looks like the guy that was chasing him is number 3, Zach Butler. That is their starting running back here for Cascade Cadets, and if they could ill afford to lose anybody tonight, it may be him because he's the one who's asked to carry the load on the ground.
Yeah, it looks like that could have been a hamstring. He kind of pulled up. I don't know if it's a cramp. We hope it's just a cramp, something he can walk off. It looks like he's coming off the field, little slow, little hobbled, but boy, I hope he's okay.
It was definitely one of those moments where he looked like he had a beat on the defender, on the offensive player, and just immediately seized up. So hopefully, like you just alluded to, he's all right and will be able to come back and play in this game. 6-0 your score, 7:22 on the clock. Monrovia has struck Jaden Ray, a 74-yard touchdown run after a 16-yard gain from Trevor Ellis on 3rd down. Snap down, kick is up, and it's good. 7-0 your score. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more football right here on Endeavor Communications.
Endeavor eShield gives you peace of mind that your home, family, and business are safe. eShield provides burglar protection, leak detection, carbon monoxide, smoke and heat detection, and asset protection to secure your valuables. And of course, there's 24/7 monitoring. Total Connect Remote Services controls your system through your smartphone, tablet, or any other wireless device. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details. Endeavor Communications, we protect what you cherish most.
7-0 your score. Monrovia Bulldogs just struck on a huge play from Jaden Ray. They lead this one over the Cascade Cadets as we welcome you back here. Monrovia High School on Endeavor Communications.
Jaden Ray had 157 yards last week. That's how you get it pretty quickly. You bust out these 74, 75-yard runs. That's how you pad the stats very quickly.
You know, for him, too, it was on 21 carries last week. I think he said, Coach, I'm going to take about 10 carries tonight and go for 200. How about that? Let's just limit the carries a little bit more. Get you some big yards churning. Kickoff underway the first time they squibbed it. This time, they're going to kick it down towards the sideline.
Much better.
And it is going to get out of bounds again. So a nice job by the offensive player to let it roll out of bounds. It looked like it was going to be a great kickoff that time.
Yeah, it kind of deadened as soon as it hit, but unfortunately it took that bounce to where it started to kick out to the outside.
So now Cascade will take over. This will be their 3rd possession of the game. The first two both ended in punts. Waiting to see if Zach Butler makes his way back out on the field. If Butler does not come back out, it'd be Dylan Musgrove is who I got listed as his backup, and that is who comes in. So Dylan Musgrove now in the backfield. Shotgun situation for Donovan. Got 2 wide receivers split out. Low snap this time. Able to keep his knee off the ground. And going to be stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Looked like one of the linebackers that time came up and made the play, Greg.
Yeah, Monrovia did a great job at really just stringing that play out and just allowed the backers to come in and kind of clean up. Good job there by the defense of Monrovia.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 here. We alluded to the schedules and the tough schedule for Monrovia. Just seems like game after game after game, they've got quality opponents. And, talking to the athletic director here at Monrovia today, he said Monrovia and Cascade both agreed, even though they've switched conferences and things of that nature are going to be moving around, they are going to keep each other on the schedule every year. You got a flag on the play here and another great defensive stop.
Yeah, Garrison Lee did a great job there, made a big-time hit. It looked like maybe we had some holding out here on the outside. We have another one limping at 28.
That's Dylan Musgrove. He just checked in for Butler.
Yeah, that's your two running backs. I don't know if he's going to stay in there or not, but wow, what a great hit there by Garrison.
It looked like he got stacked up around the leg, so that could be a knee, could be a stinger to the thigh, or maybe an ankle. But he is going to limp off. They're going to send in another play here. It looks like number 35's coming into the game. That's Dylan Gordon. He's a sophomore.
Well, this kind of hurts it, and all the more reason now for Donovan to really establish himself maybe as the leader here on this team. You've got your two top running backs out. You never know what, you learn to find out what you're made of as a football player, when you get put in positions of adversity.
Third down and 15. Shotgun formation, definitely a passing play. They got 4 split out before the snap. Going to be chased out, throws over the top. Nice job by one of the linebackers there, number 52.
That's Welty again.
Jeremiah Welty, 6-foot junior.
That did a good job. That ball was kind of thrown behind him, but I don't know if there would have been an option there, even if the ball was on there. Jeremiah was all over him.
So 4th down and 15, and you're going to have to punt again. And this is where the Bulldogs, no pun intended, can definitely pin the ears back, start to get some confidence growing. They just put a big touchdown on the board. They come out, they hold you. Knocked out your top 2 starting running backs so far. Hopefully, again, those guys are okay and can come back in. But that'll instill some confidence in a football team.
Yeah, the one thing you notice here about the punt as well, as Cascade goes ahead and takes a timeout.
How about we finish that thought after we come back from the break? Let's step aside. 6:06 on the clock, 7-0 your score. We'll be back with more here on Endeavor Communications.
Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe.
Would it be okay if I sat here? Is she serious? Whatever. New girl.
Yes, words can't bring me down.
Reaching out. Pass it on.
So don't you bring me
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Back out of the timeout here at Monrovia High School. The score is 7-0. Monrovia over Cascade. 6:06 on your clock. It is 4th down. Going to be long. 4th and 15 here. Edwards will be back to punt for the 3rd time tonight. And I'll tell you, Ellis has just been licking at the chops, ready for something to try to return here.
One thing that you find with Monrovia having 3 backs that can really run the football very well, that bodes well for your special teams because you're able to, they take a fake.
Going to try to get around the outside, and Edwards is going to be tackled down about the 35. So they're able to get about 5 yards of that back. But instead it's going to turn over, and you're going to give Monrovia great field position. But I don't know. It's a risky play, Greg, but you can kind of understand why you would try it at this point in time. You got a couple of guys injured. You're not moving the football yet. You may catch them sleeping.
Yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, we're sitting in the first quarter. We're halfway through it, and you go through a play like that. That's just one of those plays where you may have to look back on it. It just depends if the defense is able to hold this Monrovia offense.
But see, Greg, I play Madden football all the time, and I have a no punt policy, so that's why I think it's a great decision. They're going to throw right here. Going to be caught.
That's a great little out pattern right there. You just something new, something that I'm sure your Cascade all week long, you're thinking run, run, run. That's a great time to bring that out. Throwing on 1st down, they were able to get another 1st down.
A great play that time. Monrovia, and just like that, another 1st down. They're moving the football down inside the 25-yard line. They're going to spot this in about the 23. Knocking on the door of the red zone here again in the 1st quarter. John Williams going to turn around and hand off this time. Garrison Lee's going to get the ball. Number 48, he's a sophomore here on the team.
Yeah, we've already seen him on defense making some plays, so good to see him get rewarded on the offensive side. Garrison ran for over 100 yards last week against a very good Ritter team. You just got to love it from Monrovia's perspective. I mean, you got 3 guys that can really do this for you. I mean, that gives you so many options.
I'll tell you, look at the size.
The offensive coordinator.
Look at the size of Garrison Lee too. I mean, that's really a fullback type of body. They're going to give it to him again, and
he's just bouncing off tackles.
He's going
to
right
carry them into the end zone.
And just like that, he's got a 19-yard carry for a touchdown. Monrovia High School strikes again. 13-0 now you score with the impending extra point.
Wow, what a great run by Garrison Lee. Just took that inside handoff and ran right up the gut, and he was bouncing like a little pinball, but he carried. I mean, what a strong young man to be able to carry everybody on into the end zone.
I was getting ready to give him some guff for running straight up, you know, I was getting ready to start talking about pad level, and he just kept going, so I can't say anything when it's a 19-yard touchdown. Good run that time, young man. Extra point kick underway. It's up and good here. So 14-0 now your score. And this is the worst start that you could possibly have for Cascade right now, is giving up back-to-back touchdowns here and then having some of your key players go down to injury.
Yeah, if you're Cascade now, you really got to begin to regroup. The coach has got to rally the troops, so to speak. So just allowing them some time to really find their way again. You know, they came out, they were really ready to play. They were excited over there on the sidelines. But now that you're down, now you got to find a way to dig yourself out of this hole.
Good shot of the crowd here. Monrovia coming out to cheer on their Bulldogs. And we hope you enjoyed the game tonight and the television cover brought to you by Endeavor. Give them a call. Let them know what you think about the game. They would like to bring you a lot more high school sporting events from around the area.
Yeah, you can find them on weendeavor.com. Ralph Kuna, CEO over there. Tell him Sean and Greg sent you from Endeavor Sports. How about that?
There you go. We are hoping to talk to Ralph a little later on, either at halftime or third quarter. We'll get in an interview with him. Talk to him a little bit more about what they're doing with their business and in the community. Squib kick this time again, bounces off one player. Picked up. Stevenson going to dive forward that time. Going to be about the 31-yard line, something like that.
For the first time, the ball did not go out of bounds. I'm sure the special teams coach had a conversation with the kicker, make sure that this one stays in, but that he did. And actually, when he did, it was a good kick because Stevenson didn't really know what to do with it once he got it. He kind of danced a little bit, and that allowed the kicking team to come in and make the tackle.
So this one will be spotted right, looks like right on the 30, about 31. So Cascade, I think they got to find a way to respond here, Greg. They really do. Even if it's a good drive that doesn't end in points, I think they need to move this football down and play field position a little bit if they can against Monrovia.
Yeah, you see him coming out with 5 wide receivers here, emptying the backfield. Your running backs are injured right now, but this is a great time to open it up a little bit. As that ball goes behind the receiver.
Thrown behind him a little bit that time as Isaac Horrendo unable to come up with the catch. Only a freshman. Made a good attempt trying to spin back and get a hold of that one. But you got to think this is going to have to be the way they play probably the rest of the game, or at least of the first half, so they can get to halftime and talk about it and try to figure something out. And it may not be a bad thing. Open things up. You never know. You could end up with a pass interference penalty against the defense. You may be able to hit them with something over the top. So Donovan shotgun again, 5 wide receiver set. That's
same play.
Low snap. Horrendo is hit hard that time.
That's Ellis 30.
And that was textbook too.
Yeah, he went up, opened himself up, and that's what you're taught as a defensive back, is you just go right at it, you hit the receiver, and you pop the ball loose. And he did a textbook. That's right.
He did. And the thing about it is I love how he hit the strike zone. They make so much about, defenders going to the head and things of that nature, leading with a helmet. He did a good job of getting to the side shoulder right in the gut. That's perfect tackling. If you're at home watching, you're a young football player, that's what you got to do right there. And it proves you can hit hard without being vicious.
Yeah.
Or malicious.
That's right. That's right. I love the play call. They saw that it was open there on first down. They come back and tried it. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for Cascade.
Donovan going to roll out to the right, being chased again. Deep pass downfield, and they finally have a completed pass here, this one. And that's going to be down about the 49-yard line. Great catch there.
That's 82. Austin Gates. That was a huge game. He got out there. He got wide open. I don't know if that was a defensive breakdown or if he just put a move on. But it's great for Donovan to be able to see him open like that and complete the pass. Now you got the offense rolling here a little bit. biggest play of the game so far for Cascade.
Yeah, 21-yard completion that time to Austin Gates. Shotgun formation again, same set. 5 wide receiver split.
Looks like we may. Official timeout, it looks like. Oh, we got I think there's a cut on the arm.
Yep. McCubbin will come out of the game here, and 77 will come in for him.
McCubbins, that's what. We didn't get to talk about this in the pregame, but that's one of my favorite names. McCubbins. I love it. That young man's got a bright future ahead of him.
Wow. You love to reach. Shotgun again. Low snap once again. Donovan back. Hits his receiver this time. And Horindo able to come up with a great play there, and that's going to be 10 yards. I think they're going to move it, give them the first down, and they will.
Yeah, this almost looked like the same play that they missed twice on the left side. They come back on the right side. He just hits him in stride. Great catch for the freshman.
And maybe that would give him some confidence, get him going out here. That's got to be, as a freshman coming in to play football, that's got to be a little intimidating, Greg.
Oh, yeah, the high school level, yeah, when you're a freshman coming in to play, there's no doubt that there are always a little bit more butterflies in those stomachs.
Drop back pass, Donovan going to throw again. He's got another wide receiver. A.J. Parsons this time with his first catch.
Parsons did a great job. They had a little crossing pattern going on right there, and he stopped in the middle of it, turned around, sat down, and that's what they teach you as a wide receiver. You just find that hole where you can just sit. Quarterback found him. Donovan did a good job of delivering that strike.
So that's an 8-yard pass on first down. And we talked about this Cascade now, starting to get some confidence, starting to move the football. Only scored 8 points last week, but trying to put some points on the board here versus Monrovia. Another low snap. Donovan rolls out. Horindo only able to get a left hand on it that time. I'll tell you, Donovan's got to figure out or go communicate with his center and try to get those snaps up a little bit. I think that's throwing his timing off back there in the backfield as he's trying to look for his open wide receivers.
Yeah, this is a big third down play. That you got to think, though, that this is 4-down territory for Cascade. You push the ball to this point on through this drive, but a good chance here to really continue that momentum and build that confidence on offense.
So Donovan, after 3 straight completions, had an incomplete pass there. He comes back and throws here. Hit right after the ball got there. Good timing by the Monrovia defense.
Yeah, it sure looked like he was throwing that to Garrison Lee. He was right there. His hands got up on it. But sometimes, that's why you're playing linebacker. No, I'm just having some fun with Garrison, that's all.
You better watch it. He looks like a pretty solid young man. He may come up here at halftime, and I'm not protecting him. 4th down and 2, and you talked about being 4-down territory. You got to go for it here down 14
no doubt about it. No question.
The thing about it is, too, with that many pass plays in a row, you may be able to do a little quarterback draw or sneak up the middle here and pick up those plays. Still 5 split again, shotgun formation. Donovan's going to look over. They're going to take the timeout.
Try to get them to jump off sides. Very good discipline by that Monrovia defense. They were able to sense what was happening. They didn't fall for the bait. Now you got Cascade. Now they got a decision to make how they're going to handle this 4th down.
We'll step aside as well as the timeout on the field. We'll be back. We'll bring up this crucial 4th down play. You're watching football right here on Endeavor Communications.
Endeavor eTex provides outstanding IT and computer-related services for your home or business. Whether you need a simple home PC tune-up or a large-scale network installation for your business or your municipality, Endeavor eTex is your final destination for all of your IT needs. Maintenance agreements are available and services open to members and non-members alike. Call 1-877-524-9109 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details.
Okay, Josh, do your stuff.
Okay, people, you know the drill. Canned foods only, guys.
Sometimes you gotta live what you believe, open your arms, cause that's where it starts. Right here with you and with me. What the world needs now is love.
Generosity, pass it on.
A little help from up above.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Okay. Back out of the timeout here at Monrovia High School. Score 14-0, 3-13. Go here in the first quarter, but it is 4th down. 4th and 2. They came out, they tried to draw them off sides to get the first down. It didn't happen. They go to the sideline, take a timeout, and draw up a play. We'll see what they got here. They're going to bring Herindo, the freshman, into the backfield this time. So you got 4 spread out wide. Shotgun. We're going to roll out. Herendo's going to give him a block.
Got him open, but the defense, wow.
75 chase. Cope comes right up the gut.
You talk about seeing some closing speed. He absolutely closed in on Sawyer Donovan. Cope had a great defensive play right there. You take a look on the replay. It opens up right there. You see him just chasing down the quarterback. Great job on defense. He had and when you look at that play, you look at Donovan, he had his receiver open. He just couldn't see him because he's being chased. Ultimately sacked by Cope.
You know, and they even drew it up to bring one of the wide receivers into the backfield, knowing they were probably going to get pressure on that play. And he was able to pick up one, but the lineman and Cope able to beat his guy.
What a momentum swinger as well.
The handoff inside. I thought the big fella had it. He didn't. It's Ray. Ray going to fall forward. Going to gain 3 this time.
Yeah, I think that was one of those read options where he's got he can let Lee take it, or the quarterback makes a decision and bring it back out to Ray. Good job.
Yeah, good job.
And I think that's exactly right. That's what I'm about to say, and that's I think as we watch the night go on, we're going to see one of those probably bust out for a big play.
Go back under center again. Got 2 guys directly behind him, 1 guy to the right. They hand off inside this time. It does get to the big fella.
Big pile there of bodies.
It'll be a 3-yard gain for Garrison Lee that time. We have 3rd down and 4. And it's tough. It is tough when, as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive coach, even a head coach, you prepare for a team, you know what they're going to do, and then you can't stop them. That's just got to drive you nuts. And I'm not saying that that's all that's happening here for Cascade, but in a game preparation, coming in against a team that you know is going to run the ball, and so far they've had success doing so. Going to turn around, hand off again.
This is the play that went for the touchdown.
Ray cuts back. Going to be a 1st down run that time.
He had Welty out in front of him. I believe that was the same play that they scored a touchdown. And this time he cuts inside of his lead blocker. He did get the 1st down, but that's one of those things where the big fella is probably coming back in the huddle saying, hey, just follow me. I got you.
Exactly. 8-yard run that time for Jaden Ray. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line. It's a lot of fun. We've seen a lot of football over the years, obviously called quite a few games. And we've seen a glimpse of this similar offense at a few of the teams that we've seen on a regular basis where we're normally at.
Yeah, I think it's really.
Ray going to dive forward again.
Good job there. Parker Raffin was there. Good job of just staying home and just reading which person had the ball and making the tackle. What I was about to say is, yes, we have the style of offense has changed. Over the years, it's kind of evolved, and we've seen from that really it's kind of like the wing T format, but there are different offenses that come out of that. But it's great to see what that does, because there's misdirection in there. Some of the traditionalists will be, still probably screaming about the wishbone, but it's just not quite there. Again, second back through.
I'll tell you, for Ray, he does a good job of just making sure he's leaning forward. He's always getting positive yards. It's one thing that's impressed me with him so far.
Another 3rd down play here for Monrovia.
3rd down and 4 coming up for the Bulldogs.
They're going to call it 3rd and 4. Under 25 seconds on the clock. So we may have the final play to end the 1st quarter. Going to hand off. This time to Ellis. Ellis makes a cutback. Another move. Makes a man miss. Got a 1 guy to beat. Shakes him off. 2nd guy to beat. And down inside the 10-yard line. Boy, is he fun to watch.
There is no doubt about it. This is their playmaker. This is their highlight reel. He did a great job. We've seen it, just a hint of it there earlier in the game, but here we get him out. Busting out into the field, able to make people miss. What a great run by Ellis.
That's a 29-yard run that time for him. What a great play. And you saw it on the replay there. Just unbelievable job of cutting back.
Yeah, it's going to take us into the first quarter.
What a way to end the first quarter. And what a first quarter it's been. 14-0 to score. We'll be back with the second quarter and more high school football right here on Endeavor Communications.
New from Endeavor Communications, a hometown telephone provider for over 60 years, Business Phone Solutions, making businesses accessible anytime, anywhere, on any device. Increase your office efficiencies while reducing costs with a reliable phone system that delivers superior voice clarity and convenient calling features. Endeavor Business Phone Solutions offers a low set monthly fee and a reliable nationwide IP network for businesses of any size. Call today for a free quote at 1-844-3-HOSTED.
Meet Tommy. Tommy's not sure which sport he will play in high school someday. But no matter what he ends up choosing, playing sports in high school will help pave the way to a happier, healthier life. All Tommy needs to do is make up his mind. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. Pure launching pad for life.
Welcome back here to Monrovia High School at Gordon Hadley Field. Our game tonight brought to us by Endeavor Communications, your telephone provider for over 60 years. Visit them at weendeavor.com for more information on products and services. It's a good shot of the coaching staff from Monrovia, and so far, a lot of pats on the back, doing a great job in this football game tonight executing. It was a rocky start for them with the fumble, and then they fumbled again, were able to recover their own. Looked like they were just out of sorts.
Yeah, you had that feeling, Cascade had a couple opportunities there early, and if they were going to make a run and jump on them, that was the time to do it. And unfortunately, since then, we've seen a couple of the players go down for Cascade, and Monrovia's offense really beginning to establish themselves in this game. We're seeing Ray and what he's done. We're seeing Ellis and what he's done, and even Garrison Lee on the inside. Still, all three are contributing, and that's what we expected to see coming over into this game.
Another good shot of the fans here. Monrovian High School coming out on a Friday night, taking some football. There's nothing better, really. When it's fall and football's rocking Friday night, you should have your keister and some seats at a high school football game. Be under snap, going to turn around. They're going to hand off to Lee, and he's going to bang right through for a touchdown just like that. A 9-yard run for him.
Wow, another touchdown run. Garrison Lee, and this is what happens when you're able to establish that running game. You've got the bouncing out of Ray and Ellis. You bring it back on the inside. I mean, what a great luxury to have for the Monrovia offense.
And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, I can understand why the defenders are struggling. I've got a good vantage point looking down at the field. Now, granted, they're a decent distance away from me, but I'm having trouble picking up who had the football. I thought that they were giving it to Ray, the second man through, and then I saw Lee flip into the end zone. So this is a fun offense to watch. 3 for 3. 21-0 to score. Monrovia, they established the run, they've stuck with the run, and they've dominated with the run.
Yeah, if you take a look again at this touchdown run by Lee, you just watch that as the play develops, and you just see him bust right through the middle, on in for the end zone. Now it's 21-0. Again, if you're Cascade, now it's time. Now you got to. The thing is, what we've learned with the high school game is that anything can happen. But what we've also learned is you can't score 21 points in a single score. So it's a matter of just developing, just continuing with your game plan, working your offense, letting your defense do their thing, trying to hold the other team. But it's just now's the time for Cascade. You had the last drive was very successful. You pushed it all the way in. You weren't able to finish it, but you saw some completions. And I think as we come back into this one, we're probably going to see a lot more throwing from Cascade.
Yeah, I think you almost have to. Or I'm looking over at their sidelines, and their original starter in Zach Butler had his jersey off, his pads off. He was getting worked on. I don't think, a leg injury. I don't think he's coming back. And then the backup, and Dylan Musgrove is still sitting over there as well. So you've got to wonder. I think they're just going to have to open up the passing attack, and you live with whatever can happen. But the nice thing about being able to throw the football is you could get back in the game very quickly if some things can open up. Squib kick again. This one stays in bounds. Horindo going to pick it up, going to cut back. There's a sea of green, and he's chopped down at about the 21-yard line.
Boy, that sea of green closed in fast as he was coming out from picking up that football. It kind of looked like it was open, and then that swarm just came in. Great job on your kick return coverage.
They're talking about it at all levels. Even in the NFL, they're seeing poor tackling. because you're not allowed to get out and hit. You know, you're in OTAs and they're trying to make sure preseason injuries and things like that doesn't happen. And, you know, last week in week 1 for a game that we covered up north in Indiana, we saw a little bit of that, you know, broken tackles and things of that nature. So far tonight, Monrovia's defense, the first guy through is the guy making the tackle, and that is huge here in week 2. Well, Sawyer Donovan, that was work cut out for him. We're going to bring Austin Gates into the backfield. Saw him catch a pass earlier on. Donovan out to throw, quick throw. Picked up. Parsons with the catch that time. Looks like a 5-yard gain that time.
I like the play call right off the bat, just hitting a little hitch there on the outside. It's one of those momentum builders. You know, if you can hit that quickly on first down, make your second down play a little bit closer.
You know, those quick hits, too, and those quick outs doesn't give the defense as much time to get into the backfield and in the face of your quarterback either. Donovan looked right, looks left. Going to tuck this time. Going to be pulled down, but it looks like a gain of 1 maybe, 1.5.
It looked like 35 Miller was on the tackle there. Yeah, it was a great job. I mean, Donovan recognized he looked to his right, his right, did not see anything. Came back to his left, checked down, and just realized this is my best bet, and he tucked it in and run. But you still got a very manageable. I mean, you're looking at 3rd and 1, and this is something, you know, it's interesting now because, look, he's coming up under center. I was going to ask or see if that was something that they may do on this one. Quarterback keeper.
Yep, quarterback keeper going to try to pull forward. Looks like he's going to have the first down.
Yeah, good call there by Coach Thompson. Yep. Got the first down for sure.
First down that time for Donovan. Go back a couple plays ago, that was a 4-yard gain for him, not a 1-yard gain. That was my mistake. But that time able to quarterback keep for the first down. And Cascade starting to move the football again. I think one of these drives, it may be this one here, they've got to come away with some points. They've got to find a way to capitalize on this. They've been able to move the football a little bit here through the air. Harindo going to be chopped down at about the 10. And
this young freshman is going to be special to watch over the next 4 years. I mean, he has been the go-to receiver so far for Sawyer Donovan. Donovan did a great job. He checked off the running back coming out into the flat, brought the defenders up, and then just came right back with a laser. And, boy, great job there for another 1st and 10 for Cascade.
Harindo with another reception for 10 yards. Donovan going to back pump fake, throws out. Got number 7 going to fall forward. Edwards almost another first down here. Going to be a 9-yard gain on this play.
Yeah, the momentum's really starting to shift here. Looks like we may have a timeout here by Monrovia.
So timeout for Monrovia will give us a chance to catch our breath as well. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more football in just a minute.
That sounds awful. Seriously, awful.
But a lot better than last week.
We weren't born to follow.
Welcome back here to Monrovia High School out of the timeout. Cadets in shotgun formation, much like they've been most of the game tonight. Got 3 split here. Donovan, hands off. Gates going to get the first carry, and he's going to be right there. I think he's going to have the first down on this carry. So nice run that time, and it's kind of running back by committee and not running the ball a lot here, but having to do enough to just try to keep Monrovia honest. And trailing in this one 21-0.
Good enough for Cadets first down.
So the first down will move the chains. 9:37 on your clock. Halftime. We'll stay tuned. We'll have a little bit of a halftime show for you. We'll recap some of the stats the best we can. This one thrown, almost intercepted. They were looking for Parsons that time. I'll tell you, nearly picked off there. Luke Klumper. So an incomplete pass there for Donovan. Bring up second down and 10. Donovan going to come under center this time. Forward wide receiver set. Drop back pump fake. They're going to try to go over the top. Looking for the deep ball. It's caught. Parsons. Big catch this time. Going to be tackled down about the 17-yard line. 31-yard pass play there from Donovan to Parsons. He saw the pump fake and then airs it out over the top, able to beat the defender that time. I'm going to say ball in the 16, so that's a 32-yard gain. Great throw that time by the senior quarterback. They're going to go back to the 5 wide receiver set. Donovan shotgun formation. Going to roll out to his left. Going to throw back across the middle. He's got a wide receiver. That's Gates. He's going to have another first down. Going to be down about the 5-yard line, 4-yard line, depending on the spot. I'm going to say the 4-yard. That's another first down, a 12-yard completion there. A couple catches now for Gates in this one. Cadets knocking on the door. This is the best opportunity they've had so far tonight against Monrovia.
Backfield this time, Donovan to his left, Dorinda. He's got Stevenson wide to the left by itself.
Spread a couple guys out wide this time. And they're going to get false start against the offense. You got a penalty against Cascade. Those are the things that you do that just absolutely shoot you in the foot and can kill a drive. Let's see how quickly this team can shake this off. You got a great senior quarterback and Donovan. See if he can calm the troops here in this one. So that'll put the ball on the 9-yard line.
Still 8:41 away from that. Brando stays in the backfield and the left with Donovan waits on the snap from Blackburn.
Brando in the backfield. 2 wide receivers split out. Going to throw over the top to the middle. A.J. Parsons with the catch, and there's a touchdown. Cadets are on the board. And how fitting. A.J. comes up with the big catch there for 32-yard gain. Comes right back with a 9-yard touchdown here. And it's 21-6. Cascade going to come out and look to add the extra point. And Greg and I had talked about it. This was a drive that Cascade needed to put some points on the board. Gain some confidence on their own sideline, and you can hear it right now. The crowd a little quiet here. This kick up. And it's good. So 21-7 your score. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. 8:26 on the clock here in the second quarter. 21-7 your score.
Hey, check it out.
When it gets cold, feels like the end. There's no place to go, you know I won't give in. No, I won't give in. Keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it.
Enjoy the freedom of independent living with Endeavor's medical alert system. Contact emergency help or a loved one directly through the water-resistant two-way voice pendant. It's as easy as pressing a button to call for help in and around your home. The medical alert system is easy to use and connects directly to your landline telephone. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details. Endeavor Communications, we help protect what you cherish most.
A couple of cows grazing in the distance here at Monrovia High School. Saw your Donovan and the Cadets offense was finally grazing here. Get a huge drive with a great pass play. A.J. Parsons, a couple of them. First one over the top for a 32-yard gain. Completed the drive with a 9-yard touchdown, and 21-7 now your score. But Monrovia able to move the ball on the football pretty much at will in this one. All 3 touchdowns come on the ground. 2 of them for Garrison Lee, 1 for Jaden Ray so far. Cadets going to get some instruction here from coaching staff. They get set to kick off. Cooper's going to kick off this one. Going to bounce it about the 18-yard line. Picked up. Ray's got it. Got some blockers out in front. It's a big return. He makes a move back up the middle and finally tackled from behind, but a huge return. And just like that, the Bulldogs they got something going here. We're going to move this all the way down to the 43. It's a great job on special teams there from the guys, putting out some blocks, no penalties on the field. And now great field position with an opportunity to put even more points on the board.
Back to work for the offense of the Dogs after the Cadets put one on the board, 21-7. Williams underneath center.
Williams under center this time, going to turn around. Going to hand off to the second guy through. Ellis has got room, being chased. Going to beat him to the corner. One hand, unable to do anything. Takes a hit right at the goal line and able to score. 43-yard run on one play for Trevor Ellis, and you knew it was only a matter of time before he broke one out. Wow, is he fun to watch. Just like that, Monrovia responds from the Cascade score. Ellis with a huge run. When he gets to the outside edge, you are not going to catch him. 43-yard touchdown. There is a penalty on the field now. Guys up here in the booth helping me out. They're going to call unsportsmanlike conduct on the play at the end of the play. Let's see what they rule here. They may. Yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't count the touchdown here on the play. Let's see what the ruling is. I mean, Ellis at the end of the play did run back into the defender. Maybe a taunting penalty or something that's going to be on the kickoff, but I wouldn't see how the touchdown wouldn't count. And it is. Okay, touchdown's good. Everything stays the same. And it looks like there'll be an unsportsmanlike penalty on the kickoff.
Penalty will be assessed on the
What a huge
kickoff.
run. Greg joins me back on the telecast again. We knew it was only a matter of time Ellis was going to get one.
Yeah, I step away and fireworks go off. I do apologize, but wow, what an offensive display we've just seen here in the last few minutes. And the running game is really taken off. You know, Cascade has to. I mean, we're still 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. But Cascade has to find a way to stop this offense, because if not, it is going to be a long night for that defense.
Yeah, with 28 points on the board already and basically a quarter and a third. So I agree. Cascade's got to come up with something here.
Apologize.
And you know, the offense, Greg, they did a good job coming down. They drove right down. They got a couple big pass plays and scored. But it's got to go to the defense now to get some stops for them.
Absolutely right. And what you're seeing on this offensive display from Monrovia, I mean, we knew coming in, you know, they're going to run the football, but they're getting huge chunks at a time. I mean, those are the things, you know, you got to get physical in there at the line of scrimmage and really begin to establish yourself on the defensive front. You got, you know, the big boys down low for Cascade, O'Brien, Van Ness, Brickert, Raffam, you know, even Stonebreaker down in there. Love that football name, by the way. Butler, Gates, you know, those front seven, those are the guys that really got to start to begin to establish themselves. And that's not an easy thing, but it's something that has to be done to really begin to turn the tide in this football game from the defensive side.
So the penalty's going to move the kickoff spot back to the 25-yard line. So a huge opportunity here for Cascade to have some good field position, maybe put some more points on the board before halftime. Horindo going to pick it up. And I'll tell you, you said it, he's a freshman, but he's been impressive.
Yeah, he's going to be fun to watch. I mean, if you're a Cascade Cadet fan, you're going to be hearing a lot about him, I'm sure, over the next several years. He's got that. I believe he's got that it factor, Sean. I mean, it's just one of those things where, you know, there's a spark. There's just something that exciting when he picks up the football. You know, you're waiting, you're anticipating, and those are the types of people you want to continue. Feed the football to. Feed the football to.
Cadets will start at their own 47.
Play clock running down. Donovan trying to help his teammate and Horindo out. Getting his helmet snapped.
Yeah, they're going to get an official timeout.
I'm sorry, that wasn't Donovan. That was Edwards working on Horindo's helmet.
Official timeout.
Yeah, it's interesting that the official waited so long. It looked like he was just kind of waiting to see if he's going to get it or not. But he did the right thing and just going ahead and to stop the clock.
Shotgun formation again for wide receiver split. Going to drop back, pump fake again. Going to tuck, throws it right about the line of scrimmage, and throws it out of bounds. Wide receiver had a man beat. That was number 12, Stevenson, that time.
Yeah, that pump fake and just step into the side. Donovan bought a little bit more time. If he would, you're right, if he would have delivered a strike right there, that could have been another 6 for Cascade.
I'll tell you, you got to be impressed with Donovan. He was your pick for impact player. Obviously, we can see why. Done a great job back there, and even under pressure a few times, able to deliver some strikes to his wide receivers. Donovan throws again.
Wow.
This one picked off. He didn't see the defender, Greg. And now he's going to have to make a tackle, and he does a good job of making up for a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, he telegraphed that all the way. I mean, Brady Hale just kind of sat back and just watched him throw it right into his hands. Young man got a gift, and he did a great job on the run back too. But I mean, that's one of the things when you have to throw the ball constantly. You know, you'll begin to show your habits, and I think that's one of the things that Monrovia's had the luxury of. You know, they've given up some plays, but you're starting to see what Sawyer Donovan can do. And unfortunately, he just made a bad read there.
Yeah, I don't think he saw him. I really don't. I think he just saw his wide receiver and never saw the defender. But the defender was reading his eyes the whole way. Going to turn around. They're going to hand off.
Ellis
again. Slippery off the tackles. I'll tell you, it's almost like he rubbed down in some Crisco before he came out because they can't get a hold of him.
That young man, he's just driving his feet. I love that about him. He's not going down on the first tackle, and it's because he just keeps pumping his feet. You do that a running back, whether you're 5'5" and 100 pounds or you're 6'2" and 250. You keep driving your legs, you're going to shed those tackles, and you're going to keep pumping the yards out.
I tell you,
so he's exciting to watch, isn't he?
Crisco made me think about some fried chicken, Greg. That's some good stuff there.
Another big run for this running game for Monrovia.
Yeah, it seems like every time they run it now, they're just chewing up some big yardage. Ray this time going to be dropped down at about the 2-yard line.
Jesse Brummett right there to meet him at the line of scrimmage.
He picks up a couple.
Stopped him pretty close. We did second down and goal, but Brummett did it. There he is. A good look at the young man. Good job of just filling the gaps.
You know, the thing about it is, too, is I've only got him for 15 runs here in this game tonight, and it's accounted for 3 touchdowns. Obviously, all unofficial stats, but, you know, last week they chewed up a lot. And with this being early in the first half, you got to think they're just going to keep pounding it on the ground.
There it is, Lee again driving his feet, and he's going to get in for the end zone.
3rd touchdown of the game. Is he trying to play for player of the game or what?
He's making an attempt, no doubt about it. Another touchdown run for this Monrovia team.
5 carries, 3 touchdowns. How do you like that?
That's some good percentage right there. No doubt about it. You take a look at the replay right here. Garrison just busts through right up the middle. just doing his thing. Great job. Again, that offensive line is just making the push up, finishing the drives off with touchdowns.
That time the snap was unable to be handled there by Williams. So that's the first time they've missed an extra point tonight. So your score remains 34-7. 6:55 on the clock here before half. Good look at the student section. Monrovia High Schools. Let's take another quick break. How about that? 34-7 your score. We'll be back with more football right here on Endeavor Communications.
Endeavor Communications has been your hometown telephone provider for over 60 years. By providing crystal clear voice service, super fast internet, exciting television entertainment, security systems to help keep your family safe, and IT services for home and business, Endeavor continues to be the leader of technology in our communities. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details about all Endeavor services.
Are you a fan of exciting action, great sporting atmosphere, and good displays of sportsmanship?
I am definitely a fan.
High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure entertainment value. Are you a fan of amazing spirit, incredible drama, and affordable ticket prices?
I'm definitely a fan.
High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure entertainment value.
Welcome back here in Monrovia High School, home of the Bulldogs. It's been all Bulldogs in this one so far. 34-7 your score. Doing a fantastic job of moving the football on the ground. And that drive there capped off by a touchdown after a defensive play by Brady Hale. Coming out with the interception, getting the football back. Horindo with the football for Cascade. He gets racked up by a bunch of green jerseys there. But a nice return by Horindo. And again, the fearlessness of the freshman, just run right through there and try to get as many yards as he can for his team.
Just trying to get something established. And I appreciate the young man just continue to try to push out the yards. Again, we got another opportunity for Cascade to put some points on the board before halftime. I'm sure that the offensive coordinator over there had a little conversation with Donovan, about telegraphing maybe his throws a little bit, trying to see the whole field a little bit. And this is a good learning tool right now, too. Donovan being relied upon, getting some opportunities to really throw the ball, 4 and 5 receiver sets.
Donovan pump fakes one side, slips away from the defender. Going to throw back, nice play. Horindo with the play. Running down the sideline, going to be pulled out at about the 30, let's see where they spot it, 33-yard line.
We start talking about Donovan, and, man, he just made a tremendous play there. He took his first read, found out that it was the man was covered, so he tucks it in, kind of sneaks his way outside and kind of keeps the play going, finds his tonight's most popular receiver, Isaac Horindo, and then he does the rest after that.
Yeah, between Horindo and Parsons, they've really done a fantastic job tonight. Receiving core. I had that one for 32 yards. I don't know how quick my math was, but roughly 32-yard gain that time from Donovan to Horindo. I did graduate, but it's been many moons ago. Donovan, shotgun, going to throw out to Gates. Gates met in the backfield. And just like that, he's tackled.
Garrison Lee just read that one perfectly. That play seemed like it took a little bit of time to develop, and that's what gave Garrison plenty of time to come up there and make that tackle.
So a completed pass that time, but it's a loss of 3, so it's going to bring up 2nd down and 13.
Second down and 13 for the Cadets.
So we'll see what the Cadets dial up on offense here. 4 wide receiver split. And put Gates in the backfield again. Donovan looks left. And like that, he's going to be sacked. And that's 63 again. Driston McCubbins. And I'll tell you, he's having a lot of fun tonight. He's been causing some havoc.
Yeah, that was a great job of the defensive front. Really just dominated the line of scrimmage on that play and just kind of collapsed everything in. not much you can do there as the quarterback. Now they're facing a very, very long third down here.
Third down and 21. Need to dial up another big pass play here. They were able to go over the top to Parsons on a big pass play. 32-yard gain. This time low snap again.
Wow.
And he just got to fall on top. That's a good heads-up play by your senior quarterback.
Yeah, that's too bad from Cascade's perspective. I mean, you had a good drive going and just 3 consecutive plays that just did not go for anything. Matter of fact, each play went for a loss. That's something you just simply cannot do against this Monrovia team.
Yeah, they get the big play to Horindo, and after that, it just was marching backwards. But at least it's not a turnover. You give your punter a chance here to try to pin them deep in their own territory. Obviously, it's Ellis back there, and we've seen him kind of be like a human highlight film tonight. Edwards, drop punt this time. He's going to kick towards the sideline, but it kick comes back inside.
Definitely got the roll on that one.
You see Ellis creeping up there again, thinking, if you don't dive on it, I'm going to. I'll pick it up and run with it. So Monrovia is going to take over about the 27-yard line. Looks like that's where the spot's going to be. 28-yard line. And now the question becomes, can Cascade stop Monrovia's offense?
Yeah, they're going to need to. You don't want to give up another score before halftime. We're too close. Just a little over 4 minutes to go here. You've got to be able to find a way to stop them. But so far, Monrovia has really had their will imposed onto Cascade so far.
If you just tuned in, it took them a minute to get going. Had a fumble on their first possession. I'm sorry. Looked out of sorts, but then all of a sudden, they bounced right back, and it's been full steam ahead ever since. Looks like a 5-yard gain that time for Ray.
Pick up at 5, second down and 5.
Second down and 5 now. Williams will get the play from the sideline. Come into the huddle, relay it to the troops. Again, our game tonight brought to us by Endeavor Communications. Go check them out on their website at weendeavor.com. Check out all the products and services from internet, TV, phone, big run around the outside.
Jeremiah Welty out there in front of him is, wow, he got knocked out of bounds. But, wow, what I'm impressed about right now, Jeremiah Welty was running stride for stride with Ray. And then, boy, if you've got a lineman that can pull like that, get out in front of you, and I mean, that's the play that scored a touchdown. This now is just on the other side of the field. But they've dialed that up a few times, and it seems like each play has got significant yardage.
And I was mentioning the services by Endeavor when that big run happened. They can dial up some long distance as well right there, because that's where they kind of went with that one. 18-yard gain. But yeah, phone,
you think I was
TV,
stretching with McCubbins.
Home security, they do it all. Williams going to throw this time. Looks over the top. Had Ellis open, and that may be just, we've handed off all night. We handed off, and you finally called in the pass play, Coach. I get to throw. A little too much juice on that one.
Yeah, that was open. You know, it's one of those things where I'm sure it caught everybody by surprise.
You know, it's nice.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's nice to have those plays in your repertoire like that, though, to be able to go over the top and challenge in a passing game, to keep a defense honest or to catch them slipping. You know, they're bringing everybody up now just to try to stop the run. So that's probably going to be open if you want to try it a few more times.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, too, where you want to save that in some of the bigger games as well. You know, if you get an opportunity to run something like that, you want to be able to complete that pass. He's still got – I'm not going to lie. I was watching Garrison Lee because I thought him had the football.
Well, you know, it's when you see 20 players all going with the pile, and then all of a sudden a guy slips out of the outside, it is tough to figure out who has the football.
That is a great job by this Monrovia team to continue, you know, to grind out these yards, but they're just the misdirection and the great job of just disguising who has the football. That makes that's hard on any defense to continue to try to figure that out.
3rd and 7. They're going to hand off, and the big guy gets it this time. They got a penalty on the play. It's thrown towards the line of scrimmage. So I have a feeling this one may be coming back.
It may be coming back, yeah.
AJ Parsons.
Yeah, normally when it's thrown into the line like that, we got a holding call.
Flag on the play.
Garrison had a big run.
Take a look at the count. Yep. We're going to get a hold.
Holding on the Bulldogs.
So it takes away basically a 24-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, what I noticed on that play too is how the quarterback and the running backs, they continue through the play. He handed it off the up back, but he was still going right back to the deep back, and Ray pretended, he was showing the handoff there as well. Great job, great discipline. That's something about the system that, you keep doing that, and that's going to bode very well.
Obviously, when you talk about the professional level, Greg, we got blessed to see Peyton Manning quarterback in Indiana for many years, and that's something he always did. Didn't matter if he was handing it off or not. It always looked like he ran it the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
So 3rd and 15 after the penalty. They give it to Ellis. He's usually a pretty good option to give to on 3rd down. He comes out and chews up a lot of the yardage here. Gonna get him into a 4th and short where at least you may think about it. Now, at home, you may be watching going, it's 34-7, just punt. You got a huge lead, but this could be the back-breaking play where you just go for it.
Yeah, I would fully expect him to go for this one.
Hey, Jesse was just over there in their huddle.
That was a great run by Ellis as well. I mean, he found his way through that little seam. There wasn't much there, but he busted right through it and was able to turn the corner.
It ends up being an 11-yard gain for Ellis that time. Williams, hands off. They give it to the first guy through. And
still
why
driving
not
his
give it to
feet?
Garrison
He
Lee?
is going to go up the middle.
Not only is he going to pick up the first down for you, but now it's a foot race and a bang down towards the goal line. He's going to be short, going to be about the 4-yard line. The flag comes down about the 10. We'll have to see what this one is.
Dean Western chases him down, senior linebacker for Cascade, but what a big-time run for Garrison Lee. We're going to see what the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Personal foul against, so you give him half the distance to the goal on the end of the run there as well. And they tackled him down inside. It looks like they're going to spot it at the 3-yard line, so a 40-yard gain for Garrison Lee.
Boy, he just went right up the middle, breaking tackles, shedding them off, and just continued to go. I mean, he just had a run called back. This one went for a little bit longer, and I got to believe you're this close, you're going to reward the big fella with one opportunity to score.
I think you have to here. Just feed him again, let him get touchdown number 4.
First and goal
and,
from the 2-yard line.
The nice thing about him, obviously he's got the size, but he's got some speed too, able to run away from the defenders.
Yeah, we've seen him chase, at the linebacker position. He's been able to get in there on a lot of tackles tonight, just translating that speed right on into the offense.
First down, goal to go. See what they do here.
They give it to
the big fella.
I had a feeling they might.
And it's a 2-yard touchdown. It's number 4. He wears number 48. He's got 4 touchdowns already. He only needs, about 44 more to go? I'm just kidding. But an awesome game from him tonight so far.
He has really established himself on the inside, being able to bust through to get these touchdowns in. You take a look at it again, just runs right off that left tackle on into the end zone. He's having a heck of a night, Sean.
You got to wonder. I don't know what the single game stats are necessarily for most touchdowns in a game, but with 4, you got to think that's starting to put him into maybe some elite territory with some guys that have come through in previous years. Obviously, in high school, sometimes those statistics can get crazy with 8 or 9 or 7,
but
whatever it is.
Anytime you can get 4 touchdowns in a game, that's big. That's big. And when you're talking about now, 4 first touchdowns in the first half.
I could only dream that my fantasy football running backs would give me 4 touchdowns in a game. I would like 4 touchdowns between both of them to start. I would take that each week. He's got 4 in this game alone. Great game for him.
We're looking at a big deficit now for Cascade, and you've still got a minute 44 to go, minute 43 to go, and you've got to find something to hold your hat on as you go into halftime. You've got to be able to, even if you don't score, let's drive the football. Let's continue to work on our offense and make plays happen. And you got to have something that light, so to speak, as you head into halftime.
A lot of times you don't see what your team's made of when you're winning. You see what your team's made of when you're getting beat. And so we'll see how Cascade progresses through this one. I don't think those kids are going to quit. This game means too much to them, even though it's a huge deficit. I think that they'll want to try to obviously get some stops and chew into this and just take it a possession at a time.
Yeah, one of the things Coach Thompson shared with us as a key to beating Monrovia is eliminate the big play. Unfortunately, that has not happened tonight. We're seeing a lot of big plays that have happened. And it's something, as you go into halftime, you really got to start focusing on those things.
This one kicked right down the middle, squib kick. Picked up by Horindo. Got some good blocks out in front of him. A little bit of a running
He's got a seam, Sean.
Horindo. There's a flag on the play. He's going to slip. Ball pops out. And this may be all negated anyway.
Yeah, we may have a block in the back down here. Maybe a hold.
Flag laying on the 40-yard line. So officials have a quick conversation. And it is going to be
illegal
block in the back that time.
On the return.
So Horindo makes a great run there. Had some good blocks going. I didn't see the play. Coach obviously upset on the opposite sideline. Thought he had a good opportunity to put some points on the board with 1:33, but we've seen the big play, the pass play happen from Cascade tonight.
Sure.
Again, you go into your 2-minute offense here, something that you practice every day, each week as you prepare for your games. And when you can throw the ball, that makes it a lot easier.
It gives you a great advantage, yes. They've been throwing the ball all night anyway.
Sawyer Donovan, shotgun. 3 wide receiver split. Gates in the backfield with him. They hand off to Gates. Gates going to be stacked up, and he's going to lose a yard or two in the backfield. Looks like a 2-yard loss.
He was swallowed up there, and it's interesting that they made the choice to run right there. We may see there doesn't seem like a lot of urgency out there. We may just see them run out the clock.
As the clock continues to tick down here, and like you just alluded to, Greg, not a lot of urgency in the huddle. I'm going to come back and see if they draw up here, and then this may be a play too. Run it on first down, look real slow, and try to throw it over the top. See what you get. Look, pump fake, defense right there, ball's loose, and it looks like Monrovia may have the football.
They're going to say, okay, Cascade got it.
Say third down. So a good job by one of the linemen for Cascade. Look at number 54.
That just didn't feel right. I don't know what happened there. It just felt slow, and it just felt like the whole offense was on the same page with that one.
Parker Rappoon able to get on that one for Cascade. You see as they just let the clock tick down. They will have to run one more play. Play clock down to about 13 right now.
Yeah, they're down under 10. They better hurry or they're going to get a delay of game. He's not going to get it.
Play clock's going to expire.
Delay of game on the Cadets.
They'll bring up third down and 21 now.
Oh, they're going to get a timeout. Must have called it right before the play clock expired.
Snuck it in before the end, trying to run the clock down as far as they could before they did. With 10 seconds left, we'll go ahead and stay here with you. We'll take a quick break at halftime, and we'll come back and we'll do our halftime show and recap some of the things that we've seen, obviously, so far here in this one. That's some big plays. It's definitely not had a shortage of highlight plays here tonight. From both sides, really. Even though the score's lopsided on one side of the scoreboard, the plays really seen some good passing attacks from the Cadets. You got to see what the coaches are talking about over there. What do you think they're going to do here, Greg? You think they'll come back out and run one more, just run play and let the clock run out? Or do you think they got a trick play in the repertoire?
No, I think they'll probably come out and just sit on it. That's what I mean, they've shown here the last couple of plays, it looked like they were just going to be conservative. I fully expect him just to sit on it. Then it's time to regroup, go into halftime, start to talk about what they can do to make themselves better in the second half. You know, the game is, we're looking at 41-7. That's a big reach right now, but it's about one play at a time, and that's what the Cadets need to begin looking at. How can we make ourselves better from this point on?
If you're Monrovia, do you start thinking about resting some starters a little bit in the third quarter?
I imagine we'll see them come out in the second half. They'll probably play half if everything stays the same. As you look at our scenery there in the background. Great job by our camera crew there.
So we'll come back out here. 3rd down and 16. As they did get the timeout, so no penalty on the play.
Yeah, as I was saying, though, Sean, I bet we'll see the starters come back out in the third quarter. If things progress like they have been so far tonight on into the third quarter, we'll see them come out, I'm sure.
You know, games like this, you know, you hate to be on the losing end of it, but if you're on the winning end of it, it's a great time to put some of those younger guys in and see maybe what they got in a game-like situation.
Wow, they are going to throw.
They throw across the middle. Almost picked off that time by the Monrovia defense and almost caught at the same time by number 12, Brock Stevenson.
Number 12, Brock Stevenson. They're on the defense for
Brock, a junior wide receiver here on the team.
42. Cameron Smith.
So that'll bring up 4th and 16. With 6 seconds on the clock, do you try to run around here and just run the clock all the way down?
I hope
because
so.
If you give Monrovia the football back, obviously with just the ability to get one play off, they could possibly put another touchdown on you here with that running attack working so well tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope whatever play that they dial in that it's going to take 6 seconds.
I'm in the shotgun. Play clock going to run down again. Flag comes out.
Wow. Things are just.
And
they got a
that
delay
does
game.
nothing but help Monrovia there as it moves back towards their own goal line again. So Sawyer Donovan, senior cornerback, to get a hold of the guys in the huddle here and say, all right, we got to get this play off. Got to get it off in time. Let's make it take 6 seconds, fellas. Let's hit them for a big one right here. Again, tonight's game being brought to you by Endeavor Communications. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Sawyer Donovan under center. Turn around, they hand off. Gates has got it up the middle. He's going to be tackled.
That's going to end the half there.
And they're going to let the clock go ahead and run all the way out after the play. So your score at the half, 41-7 in favor of the home team, the Monrovia Bulldogs. Stay tuned. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with our halftime show right after this.
And we're getting killed on the boards. This is your territory, Grimson. Do your job.
Grimson. Hello? Oh, hi, honey. Al? All right. The itsy bitsy spider. Climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain.
I love you, Daddy.
I love you too, sweetheart.
Love. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Enjoy the freedom of independent living with Endeavor's Medical Alert System. Contact emergency help or a loved one through the water-resistant two-way voice pendant. It's as easy as pressing a button to call for help in and around your home. The Medical Alert System is easy to use and connects to your landline telephone. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details. Endeavor Communications. We protect what you cherish most.
We're back at the half here at Monrovia High School. Score 41-7 in favor of the Bulldogs. Right now as they lead their rival, the Cascade Cadets. Greg, so far we've seen a pretty good game. I mean, really, as far as Monrovia is concerned, able to just dominate in the running game. They've got 122 yards on the ground right now from Trevor Ellis. Again, unofficial stats, doing my best trying to keep up in the game. Garrison Lee, 4 touchdowns all in the first half. We've seen him on short runs. We've seen him on big plays. What's impressed you the most, though, about the Bulldogs?
Wow. The only thing I can say is just wow. I mean, the running game is as good as advertised. You know, they came in from week 1, Indianapolis Ritter team that is very good, very good. And you see the kind of stats that these young men put up against the number 1 team ranked team in the state. And then they're coming back out and just doing what they do, and they just continue to churn out the yards. And we've said it all throughout the first half. You know, the offense that they run, you know, they're moving the ball, showing different ways to run it. And at the end of the day, my goodness, they are as good as advertised.
Absolutely. On the other side, It's A.J. Parsons who had a touchdown catch back at the first quarter. 41-7 score here at the half in this one. What about Cascade? I mean, what's the conversation at halftime, you think, from Coach? What's he saying to the troops?
Well, right now you really just got to regroup, and as we kind of alluded to before the halftime here, you got to find positives out of this, and you got to find ways to make yourself better. You know, it is a long season. We were just in week 2. You know, we got 9 weeks to go even before the sectional start, or 9 weeks total before the sectional start. So, you know, you got to allow yourself some grace, give yourself the opportunity to find ways to get better. You know, this Monrovia team is going to be one of the better teams that Cascade plays all year. It's a good measuring stick. You know, so if Cascade can come out, begin to you know, if I'm the coach, I'm saying forget the first half. Forget it. It's 0-0. Let's come out and play our game, do what we prepared all week to do, and let's see what happens at the end of the game.
I like it. I like the tutelage. Again, 41-7 score at the half. Our halftime show brought to us by Endeavor eShield Security Solutions. We'll be back with the third quarter after a quick break, and hopefully we'll talk to Ralph from Endeavor here in the third quarter. You're watching high school football on Endeavor Communications.
Endeavor Communications has been your hometown telephone provider for over 60 years. By providing crystal clear voice service, super fast internet, exciting television entertainment, security systems to help keep your family safe, and IT services for home and business, Endeavor continues to be the leader of technology in our communities. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details about all Endeavor services. Endeavor eTex provides outstanding IT and computer-related services for your home or business. Whether you need a simple home PC tune-up or a large-scale network installation for your business or your municipality, Endeavor eTex is your final destination for all of your IT needs. Maintenance agreements are available and services open to members and non-members alike. Call 1-877-524-9109 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details.
For just 2% of a typical school's budget, high school sports give us plenty of energy and excitement. For just 2%, they also give us young people whose leadership and commitment to excellence will pay big dividends in our community for years to come. 2%. That's one investment we can all feel good about. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport, pure launching pad for life.
New from Endeavor Communications, a hometown telephone provider for over 60 years. Business phone solutions, making businesses accessible anytime, anywhere, on any device. Increase your office efficiencies while reducing costs with a reliable phone system that delivers superior voice clarity. Endeavor Business Phone Solutions offers a low set monthly fee and a reliable nationwide IP network for businesses of any size. Call today for a free quote at 1-844-3-HOSTED.
It's the first day of the week and the last chance for football.
Touchdown! What a play! Oh, wow! Put that on a highlight reel. Unbelievable grab for a touchdown!
If he gets the edge, he's gone.
What a throw! What a comeback!
It's the one game we'll all be watching. Monday Night Football, all season long on ESPN. It all comes down to Monday night.
Welcome back here, start of the third quarter, where the Monrovia Bulldogs lead this one 41-7 over the Cascade Cadets. Joining me at the start of the third quarter is Endeavor Communications CEO Ralph Kuna. Ralph, welcome to the telecast.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you having me here tonight.
You know, Endeavor obviously coming out, getting entrenched in the community. You had people here handing out hot dogs and popsicles and waters, and we got to enjoy quite a bit of that as well as we set up for the game. And even as the game's been going on, they've kept me well fed and thirst quenched around here.
Well, we need you to keep your energy up so you can be strong here for this second half. It's been an exciting time tonight. We came out earlier with our trailer, our event trailer, to be able to hand out hot dogs, cinch sacks, and other promo items for our members and those attending the game tonight. We actually have members on both sides of the field, if you will, with members attending the Cascade School as well as Monrovia. So it's great to be out here tonight supporting this game and supporting the community like we like to do.
That's always fun. And other than the football game tonight that's presented by Endeavor, of course, what are some of the other things that you guys like to do in the community?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So tonight with the football game, this is our first opportunity to work with you and get this game. We're hopeful that midweek to the rest of the week this week, we can play this game multiple times on our Endeavor television service, Channel 3. So look for that to come out. And then also, as I'm talking about that, you're watching it right now. We also have opportunities over the course of the season. We look at our Endeavor Fun Fest. That's actually coming out on September 13th. We're going to have bounce houses, more food, cotton candy, you name it, out at that event on that Saturday. And we also have every other year our Endeavor Haunted House event in the December time frame when we talk Christmas. Who can't forget about Santa Claus, right? So we have our Santa's Workshop. We're engaged in the parade there in the town of Cloverdale, and then everyone comes back to our headquarters building, and we offer pitches with Santa. He comes out and joins us.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned Santa, because the older I get, the more gray hair that I start to accumulate. The gut's starting to get a little bigger. I'm starting to look a lot more like Santa these days.
Yeah,
it's kind of depressing.
If we really only could get you on camera, I know you like to hide behind the scenes. You just like that voice out in front of you. So now, if you guys are doing a great job here tonight, we appreciate you coming out. Look for a really solid second half, hopefully from both teams. Make it engaging in the next 24 minutes that we see here. I'm really excited for some great plays like we did see on both teams first half.
As Cascade will kick off here, and it's going to go out of bounds, and so they'll kick away from the returners, and Monrovia will start the third quarter on the 35-yard line. Ralph, you know, obviously Endeavor Communications has continued to grow. You guys have expanded your service area. What's some other things that customers can look for in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. What we've been doing since 2005, you can imagine just 9-10 years ago when we actually started our fiber build. And right now we're in our 7th, about 8th of our 9 exchanges with our fiber investment that we're making in all the communities. So we look forward in 2015 to actually be completely built out with fiber optics. Each location, whether it's a residence or business in our territory, will have access to fiber prem technology, which we're pretty excited about. Not many communities across the country, across the world, have access to that type of technology. So in addition to that, when we do roll out that fiber optic, we're able to provide television services over that same fiber optic line. That's what's allowing us to bring this game tonight here in Monrovia. In addition to that, we have our security solution. So you've probably seen many spots tonight on Endeavor Security.
Exactly.
We're pretty proud of our security solution, and our members have access to that. And we've also expanded beyond our boundaries when it comes to security solutions. So even non-members have the opportunity to take advantage of that service.
There's a big play here. They finally complete a big pass this time to Ellis. He shakes off some tacklers again, and I'll tell you, that kid is absolutely amazing.
All-around athlete. That's amazing. We've seen it since, I think, play 1 tonight. Just really excelling on the field in many different capacities.
I'll tell you, between Garrison Lee with 4 touchdowns and Trevor Ellis now with his 2nd touchdown, it's going to be tough to pick a player of the game tonight.
Yeah, it's really across the board. It may be just a team award. You know,
team
you
award
just
there,
love,
yeah, sure.
You love that when that happens, when everybody participates and really makes it happen on the field.
As many big plays as we've seen from the backfield, maybe we should give it to the offensive line tonight.
Yeah, they're usually under talked about, if you will, and really not recognized often on the field for what they do day in and day out.
Just like that, 48-7 now your score for Monrovia, and they continue the route here. Ralph, what else can we talk about tonight and inform your members about? You talked about you got the fiber build out, obviously trying to bring video services to those customers. What about the high school sports thing? Is this something more that you want to try to bring more games back to your viewers again in your viewing areas?
Yeah, I think this tonight is a good opportunity to see how this goes. We're excited to bring these in the future, whether it's a football event, a basketball event, or even getting into other school activities that make sense for our members to enjoy and really add content to our television channel lineup. And we're really a big part of our schools when we talk about scholarships. We have many different schools that reside in our territory, and as I mentioned earlier, there's schools that are outside of our territory that our members attend. So they have the opportunity to get scholarships each year. So we offer 12 $1,000 scholarships each year to students. So it's a great opportunity to add a little bit of money to the students' pocket as they're going to those fall semesters into their first year of college. It really helps on the pocket. I can imagine that.
As a kickoff here, Horindo back to field, and he's going to have to chase it down as they kick it down about the 5-yard line. Horindo with some blockers out in front, got a lane, but chopped down and got the ball about the 23-yard line. As if the fiber optics and the scholarships weren't enough reason to take your services in the area where they can get video. Now you're coming to the high schools and you're putting a lot of those kids on TV. Some of those parents with sons and even daughters potentially playing in sports, and when we get into basketball season here. And so it's great. I love it when community-based companies do just that. They thrive in their community because of how they cherish and value their community. So congratulations for all your work, Ralph.
Thank you, Sean. It's pretty exciting. And I know the kids on the field tonight, as they were walking on the field, seeing the cameras around, I think that gave them an extra kick tonight to really kick their game up, I think, on both sides of the field.
Yeah, I think none other, especially Trevor Ellis, he's ready to make a highlight reel tonight out of this game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe the schools will be asking for that video at some point, the way he's performed this evening.
There was an incomplete pass there on first down. So we'll bring up 2nd down and 10 here for Sawyer Donovan. Again, if you're just tuning in, you see the score 48-7. The Cascade really, in the first couple possessions, they lost their starting running back in Zach Butler. And then their backup running back came into the game and was hurt on pretty much the very next play, and Dylan Musgrove. So they've gone to basically running back by committee at this point, and have thrown the ball pretty much consistently since then. Here's a quarterback keeper going to get out of bounds, about a 5-yard gain here.
Yeah, he's been pretty active tonight, and that arm, I think he's got a pretty good arm, don't you think?
I do. Sawyer Donovan definitely able to go over the top earlier. We saw a great pass play to A.J. Parsons for 32 yards that ended up leading to one of their touchdown scores. Ralph, you got a great staff, obviously. Not something that you can do on your own. Marcy was here earlier, and the other gentleman, I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, Tom.
Tom,
yep.
Obviously a great help. Is that something else? I mean, obviously, do you preach customer service in all your meetings with all your group? Because everybody I've met from Endeavor so far has just been fantastic.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Sean, and definitely that's one of our differentiating opportunities that we have with our membership. And if you don't provide that level of service, no one's going to come back. Who wants to deal with someone that is really not upfront, willing to be customer friendly, and being a member-owned cooperative, that's another key advantage to those serving in our territory, that they can actually be owners of the cooperative and feel engaged. And we have the opportunity each year, each April, we have our annual meeting, and we have, on average, probably 700 to 800 folks come out for that annual meeting. So I encourage folks to enjoy that time each April, where we also offer food to the attendees. We give away prizes. I think this year, the end of the season, we actually had, go right ahead, Sean.
Ellis able to pick up a play again, a dangerous play where he goes out and picks it up. He's off to the races, and he's going to dive, and he's in there. If he stayed in bounds, that's a touchdown.
He's giving it to him. Yep.
Wow.
Imagine that.
I told you he was trying to be player of the game tonight. Just like that again, Ellis. Kickoff return for a touchdown. And this one, 54-7, kind of out of control here in the third quarter.
He's like you said earlier, Sean, he's making his own highlight reel. Excellent contributions tonight.
I'll tell you, he's got more highlights in tonight's game than I ever had my entire career, so there you go.
When you're speaking of team, of course, it's not just individual, it's teams all around, and we have to give kudos to the folks here tonight and all those behind the scenes and your team and all those in Endeavor, like you said, each and every day with customer service folks, talking on the phone with our members, or it's our teams out in the field constructing the facilities or installing facilities, our members' locations. And we're pretty proud of our team out there. This most recent annual meeting, our theme was actually teamwork, so nothing could be better to say about that tonight. when you're involving teams, it takes every individual on a team to make a complete team.
If you're watching Monrovia, actually there was a block in the back call, so Ellis's touchdown negated, wiped off the board. So we'll go back to the 48-7 score. Jaden Ray going to have, I think he's going to have a first down here on this one. Well, Ralph, I appreciate you joining us on the telecast tonight. I appreciate you having us here to help with the coverage on Endeavor Communications. We hope to help you bring many more games to your viewers at home.
Sean, thank you very much. Appreciate all your efforts tonight, and look forward to remaining 10:45 in the third and then a full 12 and get an exciting ending.
Absolutely. It'll be great. Ralph, thanks again.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate
it. As we see the measurement there, and it's going to be just short, it looks like. So just a few inches separate him from a first down, so we'll give him 9 yards on the carry there for Jaden Ray. And I'll tell you, as Greg gets ready to join me back on the telecast, that was probably one of the best kick returns I think I've seen, and he gets called back on a penalty. Whichever, I mean, how many times is he going to pick the ball up like that tonight where he probably shouldn't and make something out of nothing?
Well, welcome back to Greg, because every time Greg leaves, something exciting happens. I missed, 3 touchdowns now, stepping away from the broadcast. Just dumped it out in the flat. Ray now with a big run. It seems like Monrovia is beginning to open up the playbook a little bit. We're seeing a little bit new plays coming back out. 2 pass play, the big pass play for the touchdown. We had the pass play now. Starting to open it up a little bit, and I think that this is a time I shared with you earlier. I think that they'll play just a little bit here in the third quarter, and they'll begin to sit
probably
those
shut
starters.
Some guys down.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a smart move.
Yeah, but when I step away, Ellis again with a big time run. You're alluding to it just a little bit ago. He is an exciting player to watch. He's going to be really. I mean, he's just a young. What is he, a sophomore?
Yeah.
2 more years with this young man.
What's amazing is I think you'd have a better chance of checking it or catching a chicken than you would him tonight, because I mean he is just fast. We joked earlier, it looked like that he had wiped down some Crisco, because nobody can even get a hand on him tonight. They just slip right off of him.
Yeah. Dean Western did a very good job on defense there, darting into the backfield and stopping Ray. Again, as we talked at halftime, you want to find those things that you can hang your hat on. Find some positive things if you're Cascade. It maybe it's something here, something there, but one after another, you want to continue to build. Find the positives.
I agree. I mean,
very important.
At this point, if the defense can come up with a turnover or a way to just stop them and force a punt or a field goal here, that's a win at this point in time.
We got a flag, probably going to get a hold.
Williams going to be dragged down.
Williams on the keeper.
As Greg just alluded to, flag on the play.
Oh, chop block.
Yeah, chop block against the offensive line.
Chop block.
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
That'll go against the Bulldogs there.
Yeah, that's one thing that they're going to call every time. I mean, you do not want to hit a defenseless person, below the knees like that. Very important to keep the safety and health of these young men.
That's going to back them up quite a ways here. Ball's going to be spotted at the 34-yard line. We get the
it looks like it's going to be second down and 24. It is a long way back there.
That's when you just say second down and forever. And you hope to pick
we got a false start. We're going to see second down and forever and a little bit more.
Is that infinity plus infinity?
It could be. It could be.
So 5-yard penalty here.
False start.
Going to be a false start against the offense.
Yeah, I think that was one of those things that looked like the play clock was starting to go down really quickly, and they just were trying to get things rolling.
Offense will come back to the line. Got 3 wide receivers split out here. Be in shotgun formation. Ray on one side, Garrison Lee on the other. They're going to look to throw. Williams going to go over the top.
He's got a man open.
Tries to make a play on the ball.
He underthrew him. Ellis was open. He underthrew him. Boy, if he would have led him just a little bit further, we probably would have been talking about another Ellis touchdown tonight.
He's a lot of fun to watch. And think about the amount of things you can do with an electrifying player like that in your offense. I mean, really, the playbook just opens up and becomes limitless on how you can get them the football.
Yeah, I do apologize. I mentioned Ellis was a sophomore earlier. That was Garrison Lee that I was thinking about.
Yeah, Ellis is a senior.
Yes, he is a senior.
I agreed with you if it makes you feel better. They're going to hand off to
man.
Ellis.
Wow.
Hit hard that time by 58.
Nate Stonebreaker, and I've been waiting on an opportunity to say his name tonight. He has got to have one of the all-name teams.
You got a player down on the ground right now for the Cadets with Stonebreaker.
There's a look of the young man.
Call him Bonebreaker.
Yeah, that was a big-time hit there. Cannot see who that is. That's down. Looks like it could be a cramp, though, which is good. And that's something that we saw a lot last week here in week 2. You know, it is very hot, very humid days, and that's just part of the game that seems to be showing itself usually in the month of August.
Let's take a break as well. Looks like trying to stretch out the player on the field may take just a minute. We'll step aside. You're watching high school football on Endeavor Communications.
Endeavor eShield gives you peace of mind that your home, family, and business are safe. eShield provides burglar protection, leak detection, carbon monoxide, smoke and heat detection, and asset protection to secure your valuables. And of course, there's 24/7 monitoring. Total Connect Remote Services controls your system through your smartphone, tablet, or any other wireless device. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details. Endeavor Communications, we protect what you cherish most.
Welcome back here as Gates is being helped off the field. Looked like it was some cramps there for Austin Gates. Tonight's game brought to you in parts by Endeavor eShield Security Solutions. Visit weendeavor.com for more information. Give him a call.
Had a great conversation there. I heard with Ralph, CEO of Endeavor. Good thing to get him on the broadcast tonight to kind of share his vision, his plans for the high school athletics here around this area.
Yeah, sounds like they have a great plan in place, period, for their customers. Monrovia finally going to be forced to punt in this football game, and we talked about it's the small battles now for Cascade, and this is you chalk this one up as a win.
Went off the side of Ellis's foot there. Not a good punt at all.
Well, that's the only thing that he hasn't done well tonight. But when you haven't had to punt at all tonight, who could blame you? This is like the Colts football back in the day where they had a good punter, you just never saw him. Now Cascade will have the ball on the 32-yard line. You got to see here, Cascade's able to move the football again into the small wins. You see if, you know, the conversation at halftime from Coach will pay off here on now their second drive.
Yeah, it looks like the starter's still out there for Monrovia.
And you may see that on defense.
Yeah, it's usually the offensive subs that come in first. That is for sure.
Sawyer Donovan's shotgun. 4 wide receivers split out. They throw a quick throw this time this side. Stevenson unable to come away with that one.
Yeah, he did not even get a chance to get out of his break. Looks like the timing was off there a little bit. But again, you know, these are always teachable moments now. You know, it doesn't matter what the score is. It's just a matter of what you're going to do from play to play. Run the offense, run what you've been preparing to do. Because this will help you, because this is experience, and this will help you as the weeks go on.
Wow, that time, Horindo almost able to come away with that one, and there was some daylight there if he's able to snag that pass.
There was, and that's what we've seen that play a few times tonight, where he just does that quick hitch in and just continues to run, and there's a window open in front of the safety and behind the linebackers. We've seen a couple completions. That one just unfortunately did not happen.
Sawyer Donovan with some snap on the football, seeing it there. 48-7 your score here at Gordon Hadley Field. Third quarter action, 7:54 on the clock. Donovan got some pressure in his face.
Not going to get away.
McCubbin's going to get him again.
Tristan McCubbin's pulling down Donovan. Great job there by that young man, junior Tristan McCubbins, as we take a look on the replay. Another sack for this Monrovia Bulldogs team.
4th and 12 for the Cadets.
I believe they said that's his third sack on the evening.
Yeah, he has been all over the place. He's been doing a great job down there in the trenches.
So
you know, we're early in this third quarter here, but we've got a number of guys that we can consider for the MTC.
For the Endeavor player.
The Endeavor player of the game.
Edwards back to kick. Nearly blocked again. And he's just going to grab it ahead of time.
Not going to give him the chance.
It could have went another 10 yards or so, but he was not giving Ellis a shot at all to return that one.
Parsons showing a little senior leadership right there. Just going to say no thank you.
A lot of fun. The local radio obviously here beside us as well, and they said that may be the play of the game here this evening from them. So Monrovia will take over. 7 minutes on the clock here in the third quarter. You're going to get a couple of subs that are going to come in. You're going to see Ellis and Ray both check out. So bear with us a little bit here as we try to reposition. And we're going to hand off. 32 makes a quick move. Dalton Smith off to the races. Takes a big hit at the end, but it's a big run for Dalton Smith.
Wow, you
Sub
come
him
in,
out, doesn't matter.
You come in, and I think we're just seeing, you know, some the offense here. You know, it is a good established offense. You still got some of your big boys up front there, but you get Dalton Smith just an opportunity here to run the football. And I think, you know, I was going to say, you know, those yellow shoes, gold shoes, you cannot go wrong rocking the gold shoes.
I like those shoes. Those are shiny. They turn around, they hand off. 42 with the ball. Cameron Smith.
He's going all the way for the touchdown.
And he's gone. So just like that, they sub in Dalton and Cameron Smith. Back-to-back hands-off. One's a freshman, one's a sophomore. 33-yard run, 27-yard run, and there's a touchdown on the board just like that.
And they did a great job of disguising that play, faking it to the up back, bringing Smith around to the left side. The wall opens up, and boy, he just ran all the way in for the touchdown.
So now, 54-7 is your score. Extra point up. And it's blocked this time. So on back-to-back touchdowns, extra point. One missed, one blocked. 54-7 will stay your score. Let's step aside real quick as ball changes possession. We'll be back with more football right after this.
Everybody needs a helping hand. Take a look at your fellow man and tell me what can I do today.
Hey, let me get that for you.
Everybody needs a helping out. If that ain't what it's all about, tell me what.
Thank you, young man.
What can I
No problem.
What can I do today?
Courtesy. Pass it on.
I got it.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back here, third quarter action, 6:30 on the clock. You see the score on your screen. If you're just now tuning in, it has been Monrovia on the ground over and over and over again. They are starters. Played about half of the third quarter there. The first two quarters, obviously, and half of the third before coming out in the backfield. It's Jaden Ray. Trevor Ellis came out, and Dalton and Cameron Smith checked in, and it was the same result for Monrovia.
Oh, he's got to pick that up.
Parson picks it up, tries to make a move, and it's a big hit by Ray. Jaden Ray, just like that. So not only does he do it out of the backfield, he does it on special teams.
There's a flag flag on the play.
We do have a penalty flag on the field. We'll see what the call is here.
I'm going to say holding against the receiving team, so just make matters worse there. So this will pin Cascade against their own shadows of their own goalposts here. Let's see where they actually spot the football.
Yeah, this, as you mentioned it earlier, Sean, this has just been an impressive performance by the running game of Monrovia. We had a feeling coming in that we knew we were going to see a lot of running, but we thought we were going to see a lot of good running, and we have seen that. There's been a number of big plays, big runs, and it's not just that the holes are open. I mean, we're seeing these young men break tackles, make some moves, and continue to churn out the yards. It's been a very, very fun thing to watch on this Monrovia team.
Cascade will take over. The ball is spotted on the 7-yard line. Sawyer Donovan, shotgun. Horindo went in motion. He's the target, and it's incomplete.
That's a long throw across the field right there. Yes, he did go in motion and tried just a little 5-yard out, and Donovan had to throw that ball. That's a long throw from the left hash all the way across the field. That's probably a 30-yard throw.
For what would have been about a 5-yard gain.
Yeah.
See the team huddled up there. Getting a lot of bad weather in Indiana tonight. So far, no rain here, knock on wood. Quick check earlier, looked like we were hopefully going to get through this one just fine. Donovan throws over the middle. He's got Stevenson here.
They're going to get a penalty flag there as well. Jeremiah Welty delivered a shot, and it's probably going to hit him near the head.
Let's see if it's a defensive receiver. They're going to call it. Yep. Personal foul going towards the head. Good call, Greg.
Yeah. That's a 15-yard penalty as well. That's a big penalty. And one of the things I was going to mention, I mean, this is the play that has been successful for Cascade tonight. It's been those short passes. They're just right across, short end, quick slants. A lot of them right there. And what we're seeing, I mean, that's where Donovan has been successful. So it's one of those things where you want to try to spread the field as much as you can, but also continue to come back at what has been successful.
And really tonight, obviously they threw the ball quite a few times in the last game that they played. 39 times to be exact. They've thrown quite a bit tonight, and that may not have been totally by design, having both of their starting and their backup running back go out due to injury.
Oh, pump fake.
Air this one
He's
out.
got Parsons open.
Oh! Good job by the defense there, number 26. That's Luke Klumper there. Able to break that one up at the end. Parsons definitely had a step on him.
He did. Yeah, that was a great job of closing. It was very close. It was a great ball thrown. I mean, that's I think one of the best deep balls we've seen Donovan throw tonight.
So 5:49 on your clock. Bring up 2nd down and 10. For Cascade next, they got to go to North Putnam. Last year, North Putnam was 1-9. Playing 2A football. This one's going to be picked off by number 52.
Oh, with a juke move. Are you kidding me?
Jeremiah Welty makes a move. Wow. And it's a defensive touchdown. Now the defense saying, hey, guys, we want to get involved in this.
Jeremiah Welty, we've seen him all night pulling from that interior line position, leading his running backs out. I just saw a move that I saw Trevor Ellis make earlier with the juke move, and he was able to. I mean, you're talking about your big offensive lineman looking like a running back. He's saying, boys, I can do it too.
I think he's saying, Coach, put me in the backfield.
I told you earlier he was out there running with Ray. He was out there stride for stride. I mean, he showed some wheels.
That's fun, though, when you get to pull like that and get out and be a lead blocker, and get to hit some people. This one no good
Yeah,
again.
if there's been one area that struggled tonight for Monrovia, this has been it, the kick PAT team. We've seen a couple blocks. We've seen a couple bad snaps. that's something I'm sure they'll want to work on.
But that was after they did like 7 that were good. So you got to give them some grace, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow, what a big-time play for Welty.
Yeah, 60-7. Great. This Monrovia team, what do you think they're capable of this season?
Boy, I said in the pregame, this is a team that's built to make a run deep in the postseason. You look at their conference. Their conference is loaded with some good teams. There's a couple young Bulldog fans right there trying to get out of the camera. Well, but you look at this Indiana Crossroads Conference, and it is a tough one, but that's what's going to prepare this team. I mean, we knew they were going to be good. Boy, we've seen a very good ball club. And I'll be excited to see, we'll be watching a little bit from afar the rest of this season, but I'll be very excited to see how this transpires through the year. I'm going to go on a limb. I mean, I'm thinking that they've got the potential from what we've seen tonight. I think they got a potential to make a very good run.
7 of the 9 teams that they're face off against this year had 6 or more wins last year.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
That's a tough schedule.
Yeah, we looked at that earlier. There's a lot of talent on that schedule as far as the teams that they will play. You've got 6 ranked teams, currently right now in their top 10s in their respective classes. You got 3 last year's three sectional champions on that, including the state champion Ritter that they played last week.
Garindo on the return.
Garindo this time picks it up, gets tackled out at 15. He may be hurt on the play.
Yeah,
there.
one of the things I've noticed about him tonight is he's leaving his feet a lot. As he's running the football, especially on these kick returns, he is leaving his feet, and that's something that you'll learn over time. You get hit enough.
You learn it the hard way,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. But he'll learn. That's just part of growing as a football player, learning how to keep your feet, lower your shoulder, absorb the hits and those sorts of things. But that young man's got a bright future, no doubt.
What's the most important key, Greg, obviously being a former running back, to a running back's game? Is it pad level? Is it balance? Is it the feet churning?
It's a great
combination
question.
of all of them. I mean,
I think you're listing all the attributes of a good running back, and those are things that you learn over time. Unfortunately, you wish you would just have those things from day one, and a lot of those things you just learn through experience, and you learn through just being tackled. You learn through seeing holes and getting your vision. There's a good throw there by Donovan across the field. Got a pretty good chunk of yardage there on first down.
But that's a big-time throw there.
Yeah, and as I was saying, I mean, like I said, with these running backs, what you need, just as much as anything is vision across the field, anticipating the plays, anticipating your blocks, those sorts of things, and being able to react. Certainly you want your pad level down. You want to keep your balance in those and keep your legs churning, learning how to throw in your hips, to juke your defense and so forth. I mean, those are all things a good running back will continue to build on year after year after year. And, as they've went through the battles and found their ways through those situations, that's when, you see these juniors and seniors that they look like juniors and seniors because of what they're doing on the field.
Brings up second down and 9.
Be a false start here against Cascade.
McCubbin's getting a breath. Probably his night might be done. His helmet's coming off. That young man played a whale of a football game tonight, wreaking havoc from the defensive end.
Unofficially got him for 3 sacks, but we've seen him in the backfield numerous times here tonight. Whether he was sacking the quarterback or chasing him down. I'll tell you what. He's a heck of a football player, and he's going to be bottled up in the backfield. Whistles blow.
Western on the carry.
I'll tell you what, he just continued to drive his feet. That's what we were just talking about, wasn't it? Dean Western, senior running back there, just continued to drive his feet. He's a wide receiver, but he's in the backfield tonight, I'm guessing because of the injuries that we've seen earlier tonight.
Third down and 11.
You come back out now. 3rd and 9.
There's a good look down in the trenches. Great shot by our camera crew. And then they stopped the play.
Yeah, it looked like number 13, who was just in a second ago, that you were talking about.
That was Dean Western.
He went towards the sideline and then didn't make it off the field. So now he'll come out. A substitution will come back in. Donovan. Going to pump fake to the
There
left.
it was.
Throw
Yep.
back to the left.
He's
again.
got a man open. Parsons.
Parsons with a big catch here. And a huge play going to be brought down about the 46-yard line.
Number 29, A.J. Parsons.
Boy, you could almost see that play developing as Luke Klumper makes the tackle there. You could see the pump fake. I mean, we're looking right at it, and you saw the defender bite, and he was able to go right around him with a great ball. That was a very nicely done offensive execution by Cascade.
Yeah, huge play for them at Parsons. And again, the deep ball, they've definitely targeted Parsons. He's got a couple of big catches over 30 yards tonight.
Yeah, he had 7 catches last week for 84 yards. We're seeing, some of that again tonight. I think that combination, that's a very good one that they're going to see as the year progresses.
Shotgun situation. Fakes, throws over the top. He's got Parsons again. And a great tackle by Ellis, able to knock the ball out of there.
Boy, he had it too. Parsons brought that in, and the big pop by Ellis. That's what you do, And again, we've seen that earlier where you hit him right where you're supposed to. There was no headshots. That was just a shoulder pad into the gut, pops the ball out. That's how you do it as a defensive back. Good shot at that young man.
Definitely been fun to watch on both sides of the football tonight, and even in the kicking game. I don't blame Parsons for not hanging on to that one. That was a good hit. But again to throw. Looking to his right-hand side this time. Rolls out. Going to dump this one off. And Arendo's wide open in the flat. He makes a cutback move, and he's going to be brought down at about the 15-yard line.
Good move there by Urendo. It's interesting that young man was wide open. I think that the fact that Donovan was able to extend the play and roll out like that kind of got the defenders not watching their assignments, so he was able to slip back there and get out wide open. Looks like he might be cramping up there a little bit as well.
Yeah, with the heat, it's not surprising tonight. I mean, it has stayed very humid. Temperature's probably still up over 80 degrees if I had to guess. I mean, it feels like it up here even in the press box.
Certainly.
Warm nights like this are the one nights where I say, hey, maybe I'd like to be the director tonight. Get to sit down in an air-conditioned trailer. Give a shout out to Kevin Gasho down there right now, staying nice and breezy, I'm sure. It looks like they're going to take a little bit to get Orlando off the field after a 32-yard completion. So we'll step aside as well. 60-7 your score, 2:48 left on the clock here in the third.
Enjoy the freedom of independent living with Endeavor's Medical Alert System. Contact emergency help or a loved one through the water-resistant two-way voice pendant. It's as easy as pressing a button to call for help in and around your home. The Medical Alert System is easy to use and connects to your landline telephone. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details. Endeavor Communications. We protect what you cherish most.
Back out of the injury timeout here at Monrovia High School. 60-7 your score. In favor of the home team, the Bulldogs. All over the Cadets, but right now, Cascade driving the football. So marching down the field now, getting it going here in the passing game. They're going to wind the clock. Play clock starts as well. Donovan shotgun looking towards his left. Able to elude a defender up the middle. They throw into the end zone. It's picked off by Ellis. Of course, he's going to stay on his feet, and he's going to try to bring it out. He's going to be brought down about the 10-yard line, which you can't fault a playmaker for trying to make a big play. And again, Ellis has done a little bit of everything tonight.
Yeah, and I saw what Donovan saw, and he had his wide receiver open there in the end zone. It was one of those things where he just couldn't get it enough on the ball to get there at the time, and Ellis was able to creep back and make that interception.
The ball hung up a little bit on him.
Yeah, that's too bad. Cascade had a decent drive going there, being able to open up again the playbook and moving the ball around the field, darting it around. It's unfortunate they were not able to capitalize on that.
But they've definitely done some positive things in the passing game tonight to build on going into next week.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at that next matchup with North Putnam, and that's certainly a winnable game for Cascade, and we'll see how this translates. They played Crawfordsville very competitive last week.
Boy, he is going to be on the outside. He's got
blockers in front of him. Cuts back across. Oh, he's still on his feet, Sean.
It's going to be a 91-yard touchdown run for Dalton Smith, and he's escorted all the way down the field by Jeremiah Welty. And you just said it. Welty runs all the way down the field. He gets the last block down here with him. 91 yards for Dalton Smith, the freshman.
Wow. I mean, what can you say that hasn't been said? You start with just up front, and Jeremiah, I mean, he was leading the train, but Welty was out there in front. And you look at, look, we got it. He needs these gas. Boy, you deserved it, young man. You ran a long way. But what a great job. I mean, Monrovia's offense, the entire offensive unit is certainly dominating. It looks like, I can't tell if we got a flag out there. It's kind of, yeah, the enthusiasm is kind of stopped here. There is yellow on the field. I wonder if they're going to pick this up.
I'll tell you what, Welty laid a hit, but it looked to me like it was legit. It looked like it was a good legal hit. He kind of turned back around and hit the defender head on.
Well, they're still discussing it.
Flag on the play.
They're going to get it. Wow. Personal foul. Let's see if we can.
They are going to say 52. It's against 52 against Welty. And
boy, he's going to have to explain this one.
Yeah, the coaching staff is going to be upset. And I can tell you, Greg, I was watching the play because I was so amazed, again, that Welty was down there. For everything that I saw, it looked legal. It looked like a legal hit to me, trying to clear the way for your running back. But the thing about it is it happens, it negates the touchdown for Dalton Smith.
Wow.
So from the 9 to the 37.
Yeah, wow. So the good thing is for Monrovia is that it's tacked on at the spot of the foul. So you don't lose the entire run.
53-yard run there for Dalton Smith is what it ends up being. So I think Welty wasn't saying I need a break. He was looking back at the sideline saying they called that on me. They're going to
Here he comes again. Look at this. He's relentless. He goes right by him.
Ray makes a move back. He cuts back inside, and he's gone now. 37-yard touchdown for Jaden Ray.
Jeremiah Welty comes back and just makes it amends for what just happened. That young man just busted his tail to get out in front. Great job of just lead blocking. Jaden Ray just doing what running backs do. You let your blockers block, and then you make your move, and he cut back right in for the touchdown.
I'll tell you what, I think I could run for 1,000 yards this season if I got him blocking for me.
Yeah,
66-7.
If this game is any indication, we're going to see him on some postseason awards this year.
You better see him with a college scholarship to go play some football somewhere. Extra point good this time. It makes it 67-7. We'll step aside. We'll take a quick break. 1:56 left on your clock. You're watching football on Endeavor Communications.
Are you a fan of exciting action, great sporting atmosphere, and good displays of sportsmanship?
I am definitely a fan.
High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure entertainment value. Are you a fan of amazing spirit, incredible drama, and affordable ticket prices?
I'm definitely a fan.
High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure entertainment value.
67-7 your score here from Monrovia High School. 1:56 on the clock here in the third quarter.
Another big run by this Monrovia team, Sean. Seems like we've said it over and over tonight. The scoreboard says that is true. We've seen a lot of scoring, a lot of big plays. We alluded to earlier, that was one of the keys for Cascade to compete in this game was to limit those big plays. And unfortunately for them, we've seen it over and over again tonight. And boy, I mean, it's a plug-and-play system right now, it seems. You've got good running backs, but I believe you hit the nail right on the head earlier after that drive was this offensive line is just having their way tonight. And boy, they're playing lights out. And this is boding very well as they set up for the rest of the season.
Just looking down through right now on the sideline here, as you see the official having a conversation with the coaching staff, I think they're probably discussing a running clock at this point. But looking over here at the sideline of Monrovia, and it's not that Cascade doesn't have some large fellas on their team, but you can tell you've got some upperclassmen here from Monrovia that's anchoring that line, and you can tell they've spent some time in the weight room.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, you go through the roster, and you just see you've got some big fellas. And you know what? Monrovia, they were 5-6 last year. You know, they competed pretty well with some teams, and but it's one of those things where they're trying to find their way. But if they can keep this going, you know, you got a lot of potential here as he busts open.
Western able to run through there, and I think he's going to be drugged down by the face mask. He is. Here comes the penalty flags from everybody. So I think you're going to tack about 15 yards on the play at the end, and you can usually tell when a player's head immediately goes down.
Yes, absolutely.
There it
That's
is.
going to add it on it. Boy, Dean Western just busted right through the middle. There was nothing there. Once he got through that initial line, there was nobody out there to stop him until he was tackled.
Some good chatter going on in the press box here tonight. So that's going to move the football all the way down to the 30-yard line. And for Cascade again, you look at it like it's 0-0. Quit. Don't even look at the scoreboard right now. Go out and execute this drive right here.
Yeah, it's what we talked about earlier. It's just finding those individual victories if you can. There's a lot of games still left to go. I mean, we're still in the third quarter. A lot of time, a lot of experience you can get from this game. And you just want to keep churning it out, one victory at a time.
Donovan drops back, going to throw over the top. Tries to find his guy, almost picked off by Ellis.
You had two receivers in the same area. You got to think that may not have been drawn up that way. That's a dangerous pass to throw up. You got four people in the same, two offense, two defense. You got to think that maybe that was more designed to stay separated there.
Yeah, maybe that discussion wasn't about a running clock because we're still getting clock stops here just like we would in a normal game. We have seen that before, obviously covering games where, something gets a little lopsided and they go to the running clock, obviously to help speed the game along. And it's hot out here. You won't see anybody get injured. And the cramps, obviously, an issue. Donovan going to be brought down after scampering there.
Yeah, Luke Klumper was tightening up his defense. That's where he wanted to go, was down that left side. Trying to see what the number was of the receiver.
Pickup of 2 on the play.
Cannot tell. Was that? Either way, it looked, maybe it's 23, Justin Phillips.
I think it was.
Yeah, 23. Okay, I apologize. But yeah, Klumper had closed in his coverage. That's exactly where Donovan wanted to throw it, so that's why he tucked it in. Good job out there by Luke.
Shotgun again. 4 wide receivers. Scamper's got a lot of pressure in his face. He's able to roll out of it. He's going to tuck and run again. Tried to get towards the first down marker, and I think he's going to be about a yard short, but a nice job of making something out of nothing there as the play broke down.
Yeah, he was chased out there. 2 of the Monrovia interior linemen pushed him right out of the pocket, and that young man just continued to run. We do have a 4th down play now, 4th down, and I think in about 2.
4th down and 3 for the Cadets.
They're going to call it 4th down and 3.
4th and 3.
Here in the stadium. Ball on the 22-yard line. Need to dial up something here just to keep the drive alive. Cascade Cadets, shotgun. Pump fake, going to throw over the top.
He's going to go for the touchdown.
And it's picked off out there again. Is that Trevor Ellis or is it number 32?
That's 32. That's Dalton Smith.
Dalton Smith now making some big plays in the running game and making some big plays on defense.
Those shoes make you do special things.
Dalton Smith, 6-foot freshman, Greg. Freshman. Pretty impressive.
You got to think that young man's still growing too. Boy, and he's able to run the football very well. I mean, it's good to see if you're a Monrovia Bulldog fan that you've got those underclassmen that are contributing now. You think about Ellis graduating next year and you're able to plug somebody right in after that. That's what it's all about with making the system roll. You just keep plugging in the parts, and the statistics continue to build and the wins continue to build. That's when you know things are rolling really well.
Yeah, especially at the high school level when you can do that. I mean, because the turnover happens year after year after year. 1st and 10 now as Monrovia takes over. They hand off. Nowhere to go that time. Going to be stuffed right at the line for Garrison Lee. I think that's the first time tonight that they've stopped him for no gain.
He picks up a couple. 2nd down and 8.
I think that's going to conclude the quarter, Sean.
So there's a play clock, and the game clock run down on this one. I think you are correct. They're not going to run another play. So as the clock winds out here on the 3rd quarter, we'll step aside as well. We'll be back with the 4th quarter and more football right here on Endeavor Communications.
I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 1. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 2. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 3. Wow! I'm the greatest pitcher in the world! Yes!
Optimism. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Endeavor Communications has been your hometown telephone provider for over 60 years. By providing crystal clear voice service, super fast internet, exciting television entertainment, security systems to help keep your family safe, and IT services for home and business, Endeavor continues to be the leader of technology in our communities. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details about all Endeavor services.
Welcome back here at Monrovia High School, 67-7, your score, start of the 4th quarter. Again, tonight's game brought to us by Endeavor Communications, your telephone provider for over 60 years, but not just telephone now, home security systems, high-speed internet, TV services, fiber optics, all the fun things.
It continues to build.
Continues to build. Visit them at weendeavor.com for more information.
Seen a lot of the starters come out now, Sean, for Monrovia.
Looks like a new quarterback in. It's Hunter Floyd, 6'2", sophomore quarterback here from Monrovia. Looks like an all-new offensive line as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of white on the jerseys out there.
That usually signifies the fresh new players, because I'm looking down the sidelines right now. There's a lot of dirty jerseys down there from the guys who've been battling in the trenches tonight. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to honestly say deservingly one player of the game.
Yeah, when you see all the scoring and all the yards tacked up, it certainly is. We got our work cut out for us tonight. Still a lot of game to go, though.
Going to shake away this time. Gets a good block out front, and he shakes and runs out to about the 45-yard line.
Gabe Middleton, another freshman on this Monrovia team. Boy, that's a stout young man, ran very well as he turned that corner.
Yeah, Middleton with a 24-yard run that time. And the clock will start winding again.
So this is a good opportunity for your young guys to gain some of that varsity experience. They give it again to Middleton as he gets out to that corner very quickly.
Nice block. He's loose again, going to be pulled down there. This time going to be tackled at about the 25.
Boy, back-to-back runs. He's looking very sharp. Yeah, that's another freshman.
About a 23-yard gain that time for Middleton.
Yeah.
Back-to-back runs over 20 yards for Middleton. And I think now they're pretty much just going to wind the clock and run it here in this one. In the 4th quarter, it looks like they're signaling that up here. They're going to say a timeout this time for Cascade. So we'll take a timeout as well. 10 minutes and 31 seconds on your clock, 67-7 your score. Back in a minute right after this.
New from Endeavor Communications, a hometown telephone provider for over 60 years, Business Phone Solutions, making businesses accessible anytime, anywhere, on any device. Increase your office efficiencies while reducing costs with a reliable phone system that delivers superior voice clarity and convenient calling features. Endeavor Business Phone Solutions offers a low set monthly fee and a reliable nationwide IP network for businesses of any size. Call today for a free quote at 1-844-3-HOSTED.
Welcome back here at Monrovia High School, 67-70 score here in the fourth quarter. Out of the timeout taken by Cascade. Monrovia driving the football. They've made some substitutions. It's been the same results. One man to beat here on this play, and he's going to be tackled just out of bounds. Nice job by number 23.
Justin Phillips.
Able to make the play.
Yeah, he closed it in. Wow.
Logan McPeak, a freshman.
Another freshman. This class is a talented class. I mean, it's not just what they're doing. I mean, it's how fast they're doing it. This is a fast team. Fast young team. I mean, the freshman squad that we're seeing, these players that are coming in.
You know what's amazing is how well the offensive linemen, the tight ends, tight players, how they set the corner. And then once those running backs get to the edge, they're gone. I mean, it's just big play after big play. They're going to turn around. They're going to hand off. Looked like the ball was fumbled there. It was. You got a scrum. There's also a flag thrown. They handed off to Austin Clark, I believe.
Yeah, and a turnover, Sean.
So Cascade able to get a stop here as it looked like Monrovia was destined to put another touchdown on the board. So you got to see with the difference in the score, if Sawyer Donovan continues to come back out here and quarterback Cascade, or maybe they use this as an opportunity to get a look at some of their younger players as well.
Let's take over.
Yeah, this is a great evaluation time as well. If you're a coach on either one of these teams, you're preparing. You know, this is week 2. You're preparing for 7 more weeks of football. You know, you give your younger guys an opportunity to play, to show some things, because you never know. You know, as the war, you know, the battles go on, weeks go on, and you never know when an injury might pop up, or you need somebody to step in that's a younger player that you want to make sure that they are ready. You know, you've prepared them the best you can to make them ready.
Looks like we're going to get another timeout here in the football game, so we'll take it as a break as well. We'll be back with more football right here on Endeavor Communications.
New from Endeavor Communications, a hometown telephone provider for over 60 years. Business Phone Solutions, making businesses accessible anytime, anywhere, on any device. Increase your office efficiencies while reducing costs with a reliable phone system that delivers superior voice clarity. Endeavor Business Phone Solutions offers a low set monthly fee and a reliable nationwide IP network for businesses of any size. Call today for a free quote at 1-844-3-HOSTED.
Back out of the timeout, 9:55 on the clock, 67-7 your score. The Cascade able to get a turnover here. It looks like they will make a substitution at quarterback. Looks like number 7, Chase Edwards, is going to come in and quarterback. Looks towards the left-hand side. Got a lot of traffic. Throws one over to the sideline, and it's knocked out of bounds by the defender.
Yeah, that's tough coming in off the bench as quarterback, and immediately you're pushed out of the pocket because of the defensive pressure, trying to roll to the other side, throwing across your body. That's a tough one to start off with.
You know, you think the defensive linemen are aware, hey, they just brought in their backup. Let's go get it. Let's hope coach dials up a blitz here. You also got the ball deep in your own territory, so you know, the one thing that Monrovia we haven't seen from tonight's a safety. They've scored about every other way.
Second down and 10 for the Cadets.
A lot of other teams and games around the state under lightning delays and things of that nature just getting into their second quarters.
It looks like we're going to get a timeout by Cascade.
Cascade will take their final timeout of the game.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to figure things out.
So 67-7 your score here in this one.
Yeah, you mentioned the Lightning. We have been told there's a number of games up north in the state that are under lightning delays or trying to work through the rain. And this is one of those nights where we're just in Indiana, at this time of the year, sometimes that's just what happens. We've done a number of football games over the last few years, Sean, and we've seen some dry nights, but we've certainly seen some downpours and had to deal with the lightning. So it's just part of it. And, you do the best you can to bring the quality of coverage when those are happening.
Try to get some scores from in and around the state.
Good shot there, the Cascade coaching staff.
Eastern Hancock right now looks like they're up 37-6 against South Decatur. They're going to throw here. Edwards going to find A.J. Parsons there, able to come out with the reception before being tackled.
Stop is number 40, PMD.
Clinton Prairie Gophers up 19-14 in the third quarter. As we try to get some more scores from the area. Cascade, backup quarterback. Same formation, they'll stay in that shotgun. Edwards takes a snap, rolls out to his right. Pressure coming, trying to track him down. He's got some blockers in front of him. It's a design quarterback keeper. He does a good job of cutting back in, and he'll come up with the first down on this run.
Right there in front of our cameraman, Justin Edwards. Those are the best ones when they come right at you.
Yeah, if you're not down there and running that camera. Cascade able to move the football. Well, last play to bring up a first down situation for him here.
Yeah, again, this we said it a little bit earlier tonight. This is a time where you just want to have those victories one play at a time and just work on your fundamentals, work on what you're trying to accomplish as an offense. And I know we got a lot of newer players in there as well, but there is, I think we had a delay of game. Yep.
And when you're not used to playing quarterback, though, that interior clock in your head,
yeah,
it's not working right now. And so they're trying to get the plays in, and he's trying to get everybody organized into the line. And really, the backup quarterback on the roster is listed as Chase Western, number 4. He's a freshman. It's the only other quarterback I see looking down through here. So for Edwards, Chase is listed as a wide receiver and a defensive back, a sophomore here on the team. So something new for him as well. And you got to wonder, obviously, Donovan played the whole game last week. Makes a great pass here. Orindo.
Yeah, another big catch for him. But, sometimes, too, Donovan threw a lot of passes tonight, a lot of passes. And, it may just be something as simple as just changing it up, just trying something new. You're down. Again, it's talking about, preparing for what's later in the season. You never know if you're going to need to call on him at some point during the season. So this is valuable time that he's able to get as a quarterback.
Edwards takes snap, throws out. The flat looking for Gates that time and unable to come up with the completion.
Pass is intended for Gates.
It's a clock.
Third down and 8.
Clock is stopping here in the stadium. So they got 7:19 on the clock here. What is a 60-point lead right now for the Monrovia Bulldogs?
Yeah, you'd like to see Cascade now as they're preparing for this long third down is just to have something, that they can work on here. Because this would be big. He's going to go for it all in one. But I think that was just a hope that something good came out of that.
Yeah, you see that you had 2 white jerseys in there. You had 5 green jerseys, so they obviously know they're getting into coverage right now as Cascade continues to obviously have to throw the ball. That's what the game's kind of dictated. Both of their starting and their backup running back went out due to injury. We never saw them come back in. And it's kind of been running back by committee. And now, you got one of your wide receivers playing quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been some positives for the Cadets, and one of them's Horindo. And I think as a freshman, he has been fantastic tonight.
I think they were going to do a pooch punt there. He does get it off.
Just barely, and it's a nice one. How about that?
That is making something out of nothing right there. That was a great save.
Is that the Brett Favre of punting?
I don't know, but that was a great save by Chase Edwards. Boy, coming off to your left side, running and just trying to. Boy, that's a tough thing to do, but he did it as best as you could do it. There's no doubt about it.
So Monrovia will take over now on the 46-yard line. Got a wide receiver checking in here, a freshman, Vincent Villatuya from Monrovia. Monrovia, they brought in number 11, a quarterback. They hand it off up the middle, and it's about a 10-yard gain for number 43, Austin Clark. Number 11 is Connor Jelly.
Number 43, Evan Bucks on the carry. He picks up 9, second down and 1.
So Austin Clark, a 5'6" freshman. Okay, they are. We got a switch up here. Evan Bucks is wearing the number 43 jersey tonight.
Boy, he was looking to go big.
So Evan Bucks is a freshman running back here, listed at 5'11".
Number 44 makes the sack. We do not have him on the roster, or makes the tackle. It's good to see him. He popped up. He was pretty fired up about that, and that's what you like to see. I think that young man was just excited about being here and making the play.
Sure.
And that's what you like to see. That's the refreshing part about high school football. Second back through.
They're going to give the handoff. It's number 24, Logan McPeak.
Austin McPeak with the carry.
And they're just absolutely loaded at the running back position.
Yeah, they're just cycling them through there. That was Parsons with the tackle. Yeah, we've seen a number of backs get a carry tonight. And a lot of young backs getting carries tonight as well. This is just the luxury that you have on the Monrovia side. A lot of athletes that you're gearing up for the future, that's for sure.
Connor Jelly now under center. Turned around, hands off to 39. Gabe Middleton with the football. Oh, going to be tackled. Looks like the Cadets injured on the play, but he did a good job of basically just an arm tackle that time. Able to pull him down, and that's 7. That's Edwards.
Oh, that's Edwards, yeah.
Brought down by number 7, Chase Edwards.
Well, yeah, you're going to want to get him off and kind of let him have a breather there.
No gain on play, second down and 10.
Yeah, he did a great job coming in and making that tackle. Middleton tried to get around that outside, and that's how you're taught to do it, is it, coming in, wrap your arms, get it around the legs, and just take it down that running back.
Isaac Horindo going to check in for him on defense as Edwards goes out. They're going to hand off.
Wow.
It's McPeak.
It just opened up.
And he's going to run right through the middle. And he's dragged down on a horse collar tackle at the end. And those are the things you kind of fear in the blowout games. They are, because you get the players that are just frustrated by the end of it, and that's where injuries can occur, and that's why you see the flag on the end of this play.
Yeah. Wow. Big. I mean, that young man just busted through the line, and it just, the separation that he got. Oh, they're going to pull the flag. It's still going to be a touchdown. There it is, the signal. So let's take a look at McPeak running through the line of scrimmage. He just blew it up through the middle, and I'm impressed by the separation he gets. I mean, this young man, he's listed what, at 5'5", And that may be stretching it. I don't know. He's just another freshman, though. That just, I mean, they're just loaded, this freshman class in that backfield. As the extra point goes through.
74-7 is your score. 4:28 on the clock. We'll step aside. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more football right here on Endeavor Communications.
Enjoy the freedom of independent living with Endeavor's medical alert system. Contact emergency help or a loved one through the water-resistant two-way voice pendant. It's as easy as pressing a button to call for help in and around your home. The medical alert system is easy to use and connects to your landline telephone. Call 1-800-922-6677 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details. Endeavor Communications. We protect what you cherish most.
Welcome back here to the Monrovia High School, 74-7, and it's kind of a hair-raising score there. Did you see the spike he do on the sideline? I know that's a terrible pun, but that's where I'm at. I got bad jokes. That's it. Monrovia going to kick off. It's the squib kick again. Kind of fumbled a little bit by the return team. And now the whole gang green there. Going to wrap him up and bring him down about the 11-yard line, depending on the spot.
When Gordon he was not able to field that cleanly. I mean, it is so hard to go back to get the ball, turn around, and do anything with it, because by that time the kickoff coverage has done what that's what they're trained to do, is hover towards the ball. And it's just so hard. I mean, it's one of those things where you really you have no other choice. You try to do what you can do, but most of the time it's not very much.
Zionsville pulling away from Lebanon 18-3 in the fourth quarter. It's another football score from around the area. Try to keep those coming as we go. North Decatur 54, Edinburgh 22. That one's final.
Cadets will start their own 15.
Right now at McCutcheon High School, West Lafayette leads 14-7.
Yeah, our
They've
colleagues
been under lightning delay.
Our colleagues at MTC Sports is doing that game up there. West Lafayette coming into game number 3 in 3A. I believe McCutcheon also ranked number 10 in 5A.
The snap here, they're going to take a knee for Cascade. So Edwards taking the knee. I think they're going to let the clock just run. And they're just going to run the clock completely.
Run the clock out, yep. Boy, we're 4 minutes to go as well.
You know, I think at this point, it's a great decision for Coach, and that's not saying it's in no way is that waving a white flag and saying we quit. I just think it's a good way of safety with these young men out here. Obviously, you just saw that last touchdown run from McPeak. He was drugged down from behind. No injury took place, thankfully, but we've seen a few of the Cascade players limp off to the sideline tonight. 3:40 now on your clock. We're going to take another knee here.
Yeah, I think we're just going to.
And you would think at this point, even after the downs, you would see Monrovia come out and do the same thing. Yeah. Is just take a knee and run the clock out on this one. So that may have been the last football-ish play that we've seen was the run from McPeak. What a game here tonight for Endeavor to come out. Obviously, their first one. They tried to get two of the schools from in their area, obviously with Monrovia and Cascade. Little lopsided on the scoreboard, but entertaining nonetheless. We want to wish both schools the best as they travel throughout their seasons. We've talked about it a little bit as Monrovia will go play South Putnam and Cascade goes play North Putnam.
Yeah, and it's not something we should forget. I mean, this Cascade team won 6 games last year. I mean, this was a school that is not used to this kind of lopsided score. So it's just one of those things. I'm sure Coach Thompson's going to go back, kind of look at what went right, what went wrong, and build on this. It's like I say, with this type of with high school football, there's always something to learn. You're constantly teaching your kids It's just one of those things where you got to. It is what it is, but you do find those positives and you build from there.
Yeah, last season for Cascade, their worst loss was the sectional loss against Speedway when they were defeated by 39 points in that one, 39-0.
Mm-hmm.
But very competitive throughout all. They even had big wins over Clinton Central, 46-0 the season ago. So a lot of winnable games on their schedule for sure, and that's, again, we want to wish them the best as they travel out the rest of their season. Hopefully some of those key guys like Zach Butler and Dylan Musgrove can, those are just small injuries, tweaks, things like that tonight where they'll be able to get back on the field for them in positive roles next week.
Yeah, certainly.
We're going to take a knee here. That'll stop the clock just to change possessions.
Yep.
And the Bulldogs will take over on down.
Yeah, we just got a couple plays to go, Sean. This game will be over. If you're Monrovia, you're thinking about, this is a very positive thing, a very big win for you, but you've got, a quality opponent in South Putnam next week. This is one of those things where tonight you're going to celebrate this victory, but you're going to be back in ready to work tomorrow looking at South Putnam.
Yeah, ranked number 13 in Class A. They were 11-2 last year in a sectional championship for them. So, definitely a team that you don't want to take lightly because a lot of people can sneak up on you anymore.
Yeah, no doubt. And you take a look at the rest of their schedule. I mean, you've got Triton Central, Speedway, both conference opponents ranked ahead of Monrovia right now. You look at Beech Grove, a 4A school. Indianapolis Lutheran, another, they are in the same conference. Another ranked team, number 7 in Class A currently. And then you conclude the year with Cecina, ranked number 4, defending sectional champ. And so this is just one of those things, like I said, you got a lot of work to do if you're Monrovia to continue to push and grow and develop as the season goes on because your schedule does not allow you to take any breaks.
The fans will start to file out of the stands here. We ask you to stay with us on TV because we'll come back. We'll wrap things up in a post-game show, obviously. Try to pick a player of the game or players of the game and see if we can get you some statistics, obviously, in this one on who had big nights. There's the final knee as the final 15 seconds will run out on the clock here at Monrovia High School. You see the coaches and the players line up to shake hands across from the field. It was a great sign of sportsmanship here at the high school level. Week 2 high school football underway. You see the coaching staff having some conversations there, and I don't think they're very happy with each other, but that'll just lead to the rivalry being even more when these two square off again next year on the football field.
Drive carefully. Have a good evening, and go Dogs.
That'll do it. Let's take a break. We'll be back with our post-game show here on Endeavor Communications.
Endeavor eTex provides outstanding IT and computer-related services for your home or business. Whether you need a simple home PC tune-up or a large-scale network installation for your business or your municipality, Endeavor eTex is your final destination for all of your IT needs. Maintenance agreements are available and services open to members and non-members alike. Call 1-877-524-9109 or go to our website at weendeavor.com for more details.
Meet Tommy. Tommy's not sure which sport he will play in high school someday. But no matter what he ends up choosing, playing sports in high school will help pave the way to a happier, healthier life. All Tommy needs to do is make up his mind. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. Pure launching pad for life.
Welcome back to our Endeavor Communications postgame show. Sean Walker, Greg Mash here one last time to wrap things up for you from Monrovia High School. The final score in this one tonight, 74-7. Very lopsided victory, and Monrovia just dominated from the beginning to the end, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw, right at the beginning of the game, we saw a few miscues by Monrovia, but once they settled in, it was all business, and they were able to run the ball very efficiently tonight. Did a very good job from top to bottom, just doing what they do, and that's run the football. And what a great thing to see from our perspective. I mean, we've got to see a good offense execute just like they drew it up. And if you're Monrovia, there's nothing better that you could have done tonight.
On the Cascade side of the football, there were a handful of highlights from them. At times they looked very good in moving the football in the passing game.
Yeah.
What stood out the most to you
on
a positive note?
Yeah, I think their offense, you're right, they were able to move the ball at times. And I think that's what you can pull from this. I mean, because this Monrovia defense, it was a pretty good defense, and there were times where Cascade showed those flashes. And I think that those are great things to build upon. Donovan threw the ball very well, especially on those inside slants, was able to complete a number of passes that way. Saw a few of them over the top where they would do the pump fake and then bring the long one. Those are good things and things that you'll be able to use as they continue the season. The main thing for them is making sure that they're healthy. And like we had talked about that earlier. You just want to make sure that, especially those running backs, because you could tell that they had to alter their offense because those running backs went down. And certainly we wish them all the best. We want to, hopefully they will be able to come back next week and to rebuild again as they look ahead at the rest of the season.
It's very tough to win a football game when you are completely one-dimensional unless you are very, very good at being one-dimensional, as Monrovia was here tonight. Without further ado, it was very difficult for us to pick one player. Really, you could give this to virtually anybody on the Monrovia sideline. And finally, we just had to kind of just make a decision. We went with the electric player there in Trevor Ellis.
We went Trevor Ellis, and he's one that we began, early in the game we started talking about him. He was the one player, especially he had a punt return, a couple of those where he had some good runs back, but you could just tell, very electrifying player. He was very special when he had the football. So we went ahead with him. You could have given it to any number. I mean, Ray had a great game. Garrison Lee, 4 touchdowns in the first half. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, you really could. And then even 52, we saw Jeremiah Welty had a number of plays from the offensive line position where we were calling his name just as much as we did. And then he had the interception return for the touchdown as well. I mean, you really could pick anybody. We gave it to Trevor. Congratulations to him. He had over 100 yards rushing, a lot of return yards. How many touchdowns did he have tonight?
I believe 2. He had one in the running game. He had one in the receiving game, and then he also had an interception on defense as well, so did a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
that's why he was our final pick.
But we'll just say congratulations, Monrovia. They all played a very good game today.
That's going to do it here from Monrovia High School. Congratulations to the Bulldogs. They're now 1-1 on the season. Cascade will fall to 0-2. And from all the guys here at Endeavor Communications, this has been an Endeavor Communications production.